to VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ. You are now on desk with myself, Mika Fabs, and with Raf. We are taking over from Zach and Ray Retreat from earlier. Raf, hello, welcome. This is the first time that we're finally together, I think.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Like, it's always an exciting time working with my favorite tita, the strongest tita the Philippines has ever produced, the Mika Fabs. And, well, that's already telling.
I do not
how
buy
excited
this.
I am.
Every single time you guys do this, I do not buy this at all.
Why?
You also told me your shirt was blue.
Okay,
is not
guys,
blue.
this is blue. It just looks it just looks a little dark
That
from
is
my
not
lighting, so
blue.
that's kind of my fault. I'm so sorry, but it is
That is
blue.
not
Believe
blue
me,
at
it is
all.
blue. I would never lie to you guys.
I'm blue because unfortunately we had to say goodbye to Nana and friends
Aw.
and DB and Topaz. I think it was like it was a brave attempt, but obviously these teams at the end of the day, as I believe a friend of ours, Fluffy02 said, in Valorant, one team wins and one team loses. Then unfortunately it it does. He did say that. He did say that.
What a genius, He is
He
truly
is.
the modern, the
He's
Einstein or the
He's
modern
magical.
Tesla, One loses, one wins.
Absolutely,
Wow.
and I think that is how Valorant goes. And this upcoming series, of course, is our final series for the day. It's a very important one because we have two new squads vying for that first slot to our grand final, and not just that. Whoever wins this is guaranteed a slot in Elite. So this
Ooh.
is extremely high stakes here, Raf. I'm wondering what form that's going to push these two teams into, especially since, under a lot of pressure, especially when you have, these high stakes, that slot to Elite guaranteed for one of these teams, that's bound to give some kind of second win and adrenaline rush to these teams.
Exactly, and you're kind of forced to evolve and become a better team, and that's exactly what we've been seeing from everybody just throughout all these days. And you told us like about the pressure. I mean, how does that saying go again? Diamonds are created under pressure, and we're definitely going
Love
to
that.
see more of that. Well, again, we talked about it so much. How again at the start, MLT was one of those teams where you could out veto them, but with their proficiency in the last 2 days, they've become such a scary team.
I think it's so we knew the squad was relatively new, but Raf, I think you guys uncovered during your interview with Samfire yesterday that this squad only came together a couple of weeks before LCQ, which is even more amazing. I mean, it's like just think about it, like how the squad suddenly banded together in order to to get to this point, and they only had weeks and practice together. That's amazing. But not only that, NEONS is kind of the same. This is also a squad that is also relatively new, so it's a matter of who can get into their final form here in LCQ faster.
That is so true. And talking about Neons, I feel like a lot of our focus is definitely going to be on Yoki, as he's proven to be one of the most flexible players we've had all across Game Changers. I think she got into the league as one of our more explosive duelists, and she's evolved into a very stable controller and anchor for her team. But you're definitely right. We can talk about all the individual talent. The question is, how do they mesh as a team, as a cohesive unit? Because it feels like these are the type of teams like, oh, hey, LCQ, 2 weeks out. You guys want to form a team? Maybe make it to the playoffs, get to Elite, represent APAC on the global stage. Just a little R&R.
Oh, I wish everybody could do that. Would be so interesting if that were the case. But I love that you highlighted Yoki, right? Because once upon a 2022, right, we had Yoki and K490 on the same team on SMG, right? K490 does have that year-long break though, while Yoki, on the other hand, has very much been active in the scene. And right now, we are seeing our map picks right here. We're going first into Fracture, and then Haven, and then Lotus, potentially Ascent and Pearl as well. What do you think of this map pool that we have right here, Raf?
I think the Haven and Ascent ones would have come out sooner, but to have Fracture as your opener is very telling on how MLT want to set the pace. Again, we talked about how MLT is one of those teams that you can out-veto, and they seem to struggle on some of the other maps, but their Fracture has been scary as scary can be. And with the score lines that they have been producing on this map, Neons have to be very careful. I would say Neons have a slight advantage when it comes to experience, but you cannot underestimate MLT. They've made it this far.
Yeah, I think that that ban on bind I think is not surprising because the last time that Neons and MLT met, they did manage to take bind from them. It was of course a best of three, and we had fracture and bind. And on bind, unfortunately, Neons it was just completely one sided. It was 13-4. So I'm not surprised with that ban on bind. Fracture though is interesting just because the scoreline was so tight between these two teams. We had 13-11 in favor of Neons, but that's not that big of a gap, right? And we did have, Neons performing very well on the defensive side. And then when the side switch and MLT was on the defensive side, they suddenly were able to get a few rounds and get a little bit of that momentum. Right now, we are seeing our agent select here, and it doesn't seem like we're seeing any big surprises for now, Raph.
Not at all, actually. And we're talking about how these teams are going to match up in terms of how they want to approach this map. It seems that Neons want to take advantage of closer fights, and obviously having a killjoy, they're going to have strong initiation, but maybe not a lot of lurk potential. I have my eyes on this Fade and Breach combo because you know how annoying it is when you get hit by a Prowler and then you're flashed. The game just becomes pretty much a single player game. It just becomes so interactive. Meanwhile, MLT, they have the Sova and the Breach, so they will be trying to bait out that utility and play from afar. And, well, pretty much everything else is pretty standard, I would say. A lot of flexibility, a lot of just versatility when it comes to just the map in general. It's really just the ranges that they have to pay attention to.
I have my eyes on the raises, right? Coyote and Aluo, which is exactly the same thing that that happened last time. And these two, they were really battling out. They were really, really, carrying their squad to these, fantastic entries and everything. I'm wondering if they'll do the same as we head into Fracture and as we throw it on over to our casters.
Well. I wanted Quack to open, but that's not happening right now as we go into this game. Welcome, everyone. Series 3, best of 5. The most bomb game of the day and the most bomb caster pairing, if I do say so myself.
Dang, all right, sure. I gotta diffuse this situation though before it blows up. I mean, the main thing is the fact that this is the best of 5. One of these teams will be making it for 2 Elite, while the other has to go back to the lower bracket and then, maybe fight again. But that's why these two teams are our top standings right now. MLT and Neons, they are so strong, and kind of like what Miko was talking about, there is a little bit of history between some of these players, but also now the fact that they're on different teams, it's a lot of different plays, different structures. Agent select wise, nothing surprising. They are going with their comfort picks.
Comfort picks. I had this conversation yesterday. Comfort picks versus made up picks. Which is better? In a lot of situations, we've seen some of these girls change up their agents, play something they're not too comfortable. Sometimes it works out, sometimes not the best mechanically. It comes down to how your team can support you. But looking at these two teams, high potential. Militant only came together 2 weeks ago, and they barely even know each other, and already they're having this insane chemistry going about them. Neons, we've seen them come about quite some time, and this is their last chance to make it through, but Yamroll has been highly talked about this particular tournament. Her clutch potential and her multi-frags, chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's always good, but also, I mean, just for both teams, it's just that slight difference in the initiator right now, right? Sova versus Fade, and you could, criticize a little bit, talk about how you might want a Fade because of the, synergy with Raze, but we've seen Sova being good as well, and it all depends on how they really play it after all. Right now, we're just having MLT push
instantly on the side. Ooh, her teammate just fully controlled the tower area. Neons, okay, playing together. Strength in numbers, as they say, will have to respect the pain shells, but no problem getting on the site. They do have a cross, ready and done. They also have those utils just throwing straight at them as KitKat for 2. And Samfire also reacts the same. But in a day, Felsi does find Sam. The rest be a tap. Recon gonna be really killed, but her teammate is there. Kefrodite does find one more, and Kefrodite brings back her name, Clutch Aphrodite.
Yeah, she might have been out of the scene for a while, but that clutch sheet is always there, Tash. You can never take the clutch out of the girl. And just kind of even hopping off the spike for a second. Unfortunately, when you have that spike planted, MLT just knows how to play it post-plant. Now they're buying up the guns, a couple of bulldogs going into the next round. K might be sticking on the ghost though, so that just means they might be saving up for something bigger in the next round.
Maybe. Who knows? But in this situation, we've seen some insane round 2 thrifties. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen. Haunt immediately deleted, but does give some info that there are some people playing in on A main.
Yeah, rotation's pulled over a little bit early as well. KitKat only has a shorty, so if she's alone on B, I don't know how I feel about it.
Full underpass, and Elu is just gonna immediately just hop onto the site. Not trying to push too much, but look at that shorty in the corner, finds one, and she just hops away. Not fast enough. Samfire clears that out. Thank you very much. That shorty's mine now.
Yeah, a little bonus, but also just the fact that MLT now has the sight, watching some of these smokes. They've got the angles covered. Yamo's going to try to play around it though, and they push out of the sky smoke from Generator together, but that said, still, the firing squad of MLT will gun them down.
If I could describe MLT, militant style, very, very, I would say, mechanical with how they play, very clean with how they move. And look at those crossfires they have, those double swings. We see them consistently throughout these past few days. And they're the type of team to really excel on the maps that they chose. We've seen them 13-0 a team on this map, and I think it was a 13-5 or 13-7 yesterday as well. So it's really scary when you see this team play here.
Can be really, really strong, especially with the decisive hits, and that's the most impressive thing because they've only just formed 2 weeks ago or something. They don't have that much practice, but they're still so good. That's it though, with the full buys now, NEONS answering back in full. Another team with strong players, but MLT on the site still able to shoot them down. Yoki versus her ex-teammates right now, and she's trying to find a line of sight. Can't quite see them because they're hidden away.
Not coming back.
Okay, for Daidi. Nice crossfire here with their teammates. They're gonna have to move away from that corner. And Coyote scores big with the pain shells. She gets 2, but Kifrodite with that tap. 3 in her pocket. 1 versus 1 Yoki. Kifrodite. 2 players that have a long line of history with each other. This is definitely gonna be very exciting to watch. But pros don't fake, as they say. The turret will be there for that information, but she does have some utility to spare. Gonna be just moving carefully. She does get it!
Oh my god!
But she gets her off at the last second! I'm about to get a heart attack!
I honestly thought for a second that she wouldn't have enough movement speed to make it out of cover because of the fault line. I mean, Yoki really tried and played that to perfection. Again, fault line stun, sticking the spike, trying to jiggle for a bit just to make sure that K was not already watching the angle. But K for Daidi, I mean, again, this is why she has the clutch gene, dude.
She may have left the scene, but the clutch never left her. Oh my god. If you could see my face right now, you know that Pog emote?
I know.
That's me. I am literally the Pog emote.
Alright. That's the bonus round for MLT now, though, Tash. And that means the momentum is on their side. They get to keep on pushing forward. And if you're thinking about NEONS and Yoki, a fun fact is that Yoki has almost always made it to Game Changers APAC Elite. This, if this doesn't go her way, will this be the first year that she does it? I hope it isn't, but you know, you're gonna have to keep on fighting.
I think for her, it's all about like different team, different year, but still me. In Elite, want it to happen is Yoki. Ooh, that's a lot of damage put into Kifrodite. 5 HP left, moves out of the way. Turret, just for some playoff the info. Is Yoki, everyone knows she's there. Luna, huge, but will be answered back by Felsi. The nightmare to go down, Nightfall. Sorry, excuse me. Belu and Samfire just cleaning up house. But despite Coyote's best efforts, whew, does not get to defuse.
Still kind of blows up in her face. So painful. The showstopper committed, but Elu just shuts her down completely. NEONS, I mean, this came pretty close, Tash. I love how they were going for it with the Sheriffs. I mean, sometimes you're just a little bit less reserved because you don't have the best buys, and it allows you to play a little bit more aggressively. But that said, MLT just still showing clear superiority in how they're structured, how they position themselves across the map. And, well, that's a 4-0 now. Going into the next round, they've got a lot of ultimates to work with.
Lockdown. You should run. Something they could use for a retake. Ooh, just bursting straight onto the site. Spots out. KitKat, there goes that lockdown. Not happening today. Regardless, the plant will come through. It's envious. Safe and sound. Does have the orbital strike just to buy some time.
Just waiting it out. Lockdown does detain, so it buys out even more time away from NEONS. And MLT, look at the positioning. Sam on the off angle. Envious there to support.
Boomba will find her. Let's take a little bit of damage. She gets caught out in that corner. Yamroll just rushes forward 4-2. Just like that, Aluwu. Gonna swing out, stops the defuse, will be taken down by Aphrodite. Again and again. I'm so sorry. I sound like a broken record. Clutch Aphrodite. I'm sorry. I can't.
It just has to be said, Tash. Yeah. I think you're right. It's just every time we kind of like want to say something different, she comes up and clutches again. That's why we gave her the nickname in the that's why she earned the nickname in the first place ever since the first few years of SMG. I just can't believe that this is happening. Starts off in the pistol, and it happened a couple of rounds ago. It's happening again around five wins in a row. NEONS, of course, they're forced to call a timeout.
And on top of that, looking at MLT with that 4 ultimates stacked up, that is definitely something you need to take time to figure out. How exactly are we going to be countering this? What exactly can we do with the combination of the 2 ultimates we have? What exactly went wrong in our defenses? Not to say that attacking is a little bit more easy on this map, but perhaps this aggression coming in from MLT is something they need to try and break. Should they be a little bit more aggressive and come meet them before they attack? Who knows?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. It might not even be this round that they like try to find a counter, right, Tash? Because they just don't have the best buys right now. It's all Sheriffs. Maybe with the exclusion of Yamroll. Okay, no, she still has enough, yeah. But that's the main thing, is that it actually looked possible for a second in that retake on round 5. They pushed out together. There was a nice flash count out from Yoki, and they were able to take out most players from the site, but they just neglected to consider the one thing, and that was Flash for 90. Yamroll, though, now out with the Marshall. And that's just going to be a couple more advances and pushes. A bit of a B split coming out from MLT.
The old reliable Luna. You can always rely on her to refag. Just get those multi-frags on top of that. Yoki just trying to tap some heads. Not quite happening quite yet. Luwu finds one. Yoki taps one, taps 2. Oh, that is so clean. Can she go for more? Luna already. One more in the bag. She wants to go for 4. Clean as heck. And this girl has been unstoppable throughout this entire tournament.
Everyone just, yeah, from MLT, I can't, it's happening again. First we had Aphrodite, now we're having Luna. And we saw how she played yesterday. And right now, although Yoki had 2 nice flicks back to back, almost brought it back to the brink of normalcy for NEONS, MLT just shuts the door on them again. This is 6 rounds in a row, Tash, and I'm still counting.
How many? Technically, you have to count this number, but...
Okay, fine.
Enough of
Just let
that.
me be bad at math.
And who's gonna be jumping onto the site? Not too sure if she actually gets that value from the showstopper. Doesn't really need that, because once you hear the yell, fire in the hole, you just pretty much run away from it. But Yoki,
Spike down, attacker
2.
spawn.
Just dwindling down the numbers with Aphrodite out of the way. A little bit more easy when it comes to post-plant situations. For that moments that you don't want to get caught off guard.
Whoa, they're taking the line.
Oh. The no-no line. They should make it cross! And they spray! Will be punished for it! As Komodo says, no-no line. Don't touch it.
They touched it.
They touched it!
That's what happens when you touch it.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know if Komodo should be proud that, you know, we think about Boom Esports on that line, but I think of Komodo. Sorry, Ascension things. But Lu Gonna try and just strafe this out. Good for one. Still, another 3 members to go. Does not manage to clear the corner. So, the first point in the bag for NEONS. But MLT, whether or not they'll be able to take it away again is the question.
I mean, it has to be done, but it kind of looks good, at least for NEONS right now, the way that they kind of approach this site this time around. Not just full on executing in, but actually, you know, trying to set up for trades. Coyote pushing in first, and then Yoki coming in to kind of wrangle control back away from MLT on A main. And then MLT getting information on bridge spawn, but then they took the rope. So that's just kind of how the round plays out. NEONS slowly coming back in. The defensive side is what they're kind of struggling with sometimes when MLT goes in for that B split push, which is happening again.
I love seeing people on the sheriffs. Seems like insane taps coming through, but Alu will be the one with the first contact. Yam roll. Gonna be about to commit that. I think she changed her mind. Does not want to use that quite yet. Oh, she's just waiting for the right time. There we go. The plant will be cancelled because of that. Velcy, Prowler, fortunately does not catch anyone. And again, Mexican standoff, at least for the time being.
Launching smoke.
That's right. And just committing her orbital strike. You got the rolling thunder from Yoki, and Coyote pushing in off of it. The paint shells, a Vandal kill, 2 back-to-back, and Yamro streaming in as well. Kfredidi and Elu, although they have the spike down, can they hold it? One inside a tower, the other from tree. Same position from before. It's gonna be the Vandal though, and then it goes down. Yoki watching the back this time. NEONS finding their second win.
It's as though they were marking where Kfredidi might be coming from. Understanding that she has the best potential in catching people off guard. So that was honestly huge. But Coyote has been finding a lot of value kills with those paint shells. She's been really good at understanding where exactly to be throwing them and getting those kills. Clears out so many angles as well, making sure that no one gets backstabbed.
Everyone like slowly adapting back into the game, right? And NEONS 2 rounds now. Perhaps if they can make it a third, that would be even better. But also just looking at the ultimates right now, you know, Elu is close to her showstopper. There are 4 ult points on the map to pick up. Luna on her Hunter's Fury, which would counter Kit Kats. And MLT just does not care. They stream in. Elu is just going to watch the site.
She's just been so okay with taking up this space. No fear.
None whatsoever. I'm just wondering if that lockdown's gonna come in, and then just there we go.
Yep, just for that, Luna. That's a tag, not a pick, unfortunately. But Yamroll is very low. Still has 1 more smoke to play with. But they will be trying to aggress onto site explosively if they can. Luna, they have this nice angle held on. Kfredidi and Envious will be cleaning house. But despite Yamroll's big attempt, the crossfires and the push from MLT's a bit much to handle.
Again, it's that setup. And this time Kfredidi wasn't alone. She had Luna with her, both top fragging. And the positioning as well. I mean, Elu to start things off, and then just kind of holding around site or B tower. It's perfectly as you described, Tash. And like, it's just so much for NEONS to deal with. They tried with the lockdown, it baited out the Hunter's Fury, but then Yamro by that point was so low. So now we have a 2-7. We've got a couple of Marshals and Sheriffs coming out from NEONS. How do you defend with that, though?
How indeed. Change in pace, a bit slower this time, as opposed to the very quick push that we saw from earlier. Not changing though, as soon as they hit the site. Just keep running. Displacement from Elu, perfectly done. She gets those picks. And her teammates just set her up for these multi-frags. It's just been huge for her.
2 back-to-back. And yeah, it's perfectly, again, just that full-on execution. Samfire with the assists. Now everyone from NEONS trying to reclaim space, but immediately shut down. And again, by MLT.
MLT, you'd think that you had an answer to their aggression. All they do is just slow it down and still aggress the same way. But timeout called. What do you think they're talking about?
I mean, I was just thinking it's a little bit odd considering the fact that MLT are the ones with the lead right now.
Exactly.
But potentially also the fact that, first of all, a couple of players are close to their ultimates. Maybe they want to pick something up. Maybe it's also a way of just considering how NEONS might come in with a bit of that more retake style gameplay. Right? You got the Nightfall and Felsy's side, and also how they might actually try something different, like pushing out perhaps, because you're coming close to the end of the first half. And NEONS wants to get as many rounds as possible. If MLT can secure a 10-2 first half, then you don't have to worry so much about the next half after the swap.
But after today, the first few matches in the previous series, we saw some really clean streaks happening in second half. And I think if these girls have been watching, they want to avoid that as much as possible. Alu, I think she's really feeling herself this particular game. Like, you can see how she paths her way onto site, just straight up, especially on A site, just straight up jumping onto the site, straight into tower, no fear, nothing to stop her at all. And it just feels like you need to stop this momentum, and that's exactly they are planning on doing. Kit Kat finds her, but Luna does trade back.
So it's that early dish control, but look at how NEONS were pushing it out as well. This is what I was talking about with that timeout. Now they're coming in from dish, but since it's an even trade, MLT, they've got a little bit of time and they might hear the footsteps first. At the same time, lockdown coming through, and they're just looking to secure this round away.
Blind, but no one aggressing onto that. Bit late after that, think about it, but Yammer and Yoki does seem to try stop the attempt, but Envious. Sometimes I forget how awesome she is. I'm just reminded again.
Yeah, you were just gushing about how she used to play Omen and everything. And now she's on Brim. And it wasn't even anything about utility. She had her teammates on the site, but they were all just distractions for Envious to strike down NEONS as they went in for the spike. The angle being held from A main dash. 9-2 now. And look at the economy on NEONS' side. Felsy has no shields this round.
Yep. Complete glass cannon from their side. But they do want to get this round if possible. 9-3? Not to say I'm superstitious, but I've seen a lot of comebacks from that. Perhaps a change of mentality might be key. Alu already on the top side of the area, does not spot out anyone. Prowler does find one of her teammates. Nice tap from Kit Kat, but can she actually get away with that? Yes, she does. 5 HP left. Eventually does go down. Oh, actually fell high. That goes down. But Luna for 2. She's been huge. But will be taken out by Alu's pain shells.
And Envious has her orbital strike right now, Tash.
There we go, Yoki. Nice little clear. Just really set it up. Or Coyote jumps down, plays his corner so perfectly alongside the orbital strike. Ouch.
I mean, just look at how they played that post plant. First of all, decisive take, surely. A little bit of resistance, but then it's just all of that gunpowder. Luna, surprisingly, as an initiator, is incredibly sharp with that sharpshooting, just peeking out of door. So at the end of this, a 10-2 first half, I'm just going to let our panelists take this because I don't know what to say anymore. Mika and Raph, what say you?
I say MLT are on a roll, and it definitely shows. I mean, Aluo with the entries, and not to mention, Sapphire is actually doing extremely well, assisting her with that. And Raph, I know that we mentioned that, you know, NEONS is also like a very firepower heavy squad, and I gotta say that, like, you know, it's, I don't want to count them out entirely, but this isn't what I was expecting from them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But looking at this map, it's very characteristic of MLT to be very headstrong and confident. Once they feel like a team can't hang with those heavy side hits, heavy explodes, it's pretty much cowabunga. Those very deep crossfires that NEONS is setting up is getting picked apart by Luna's utility, and Luna has been staying alive in these late round situations, gaining a clear advantage as well as her amazing fragging, Mika.
Yeah, it's everything that we've been seeing so far from MLT is just chef's kiss. But let's see what happens once the sides switch and they're on the defensive side this time. So casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Chica and Ref. I mean, he's just gonna have to watch and see what happens, right? It's a 10-2. Yes, they've swapped sides, but this is where, again, that momentum can carry forward. And MLT are just feeling themselves right now, Tash.
Feeling themselves in the heat. Feeling great. But, I mean, we've seen 10-3s. We've seen 11-1s. If you remember last year. So 10-2, doable, definitely doable, especially on this map, Fracture. A game of chaining rounds. A team with the most aggression wins.
Not sure how aggressive you can continue to be, though. Neon's definitely feeling and reeling a little bit from those previous losses. Now they've slowed down their pace a little bit. Taking the zipline across back to rendezvous with their teammates, maybe setting up for a B push.
No movement at all from MLT. They're perfectly competent, just taking the time. But Suspicious alright, immediately rotate onto B. A good read, honestly. With that util, does buy a lot of time for the rotation to happen, and Coyote does try to aggress onto the side, but look at this cross coming through. Coyote does find one. She goes two! Despite the crossfire, Angus can't do much more than that. Only Yoki will be the pickoff.
Yo, and it's a third. Her health looks really nice right now, by the way, but still, I mean, Coyote is just popping off with those site takes. Sudden burst of aggression, and MLT was not prepared. The final two now, trying to set up for that retake, but it's only two of them. And LU has to make through the first obstacle. Does not make it happen. Luna down to 1-on-4, but gets taken out by Felsi. A great way for Neons to start the second half with Pistol Whip.
Dang. I don't know. Part of me was just like, I wouldn't be surprised if Luna would be able to clutch, but then she died, and I was like, oh yeah, back to reality. Expectations very high on her, honestly, after her performance, but pistol round definitely needed by Neons, especially after that. And Coyote, you can tell that she's starting to really start to amp up in terms of firepower. She was just turning around from all different angles and not sure how she got away from the crossfire.
And that's just, again, impressive takes. You're talking about that aggression that they need, and they are trying to show it once more. Finally stunned by Samfire, though, and they're gonna have to stop for a second. Still, Coyote does not care. Envious makes it a trade. Yoki continues to find a couple more, but here come the Sheriffs. A bit of a whiff from LU, and that means Felsi and KitKat will finish things off. Still, a little bit of damage sustained, so maybe not the best economy in the next round, but it is a 4-10.
Slowly but surely, they want to just narrow down the gap between the scores. Still another 6-round deficit. But, again, especially before, we've seen some miracles happen in VCT Game Changers. Now, in this situation, MLT on the full buy, except for Lu and Yuna, just half shields. Not the best buys for Neons, but honestly, we've seen some insane thrifties.
Yeah, I gotta say what's good is that because of those 2 wins, now Coyote is a couple of points away from her ultimate, along with some of her teammates as well, and that could be really crucial. But they are not slowing down. In fact, they just want to make their way onto site, secure the spike plant, and then figure out a game plan from there. MLT, though, they're recognizing this, so their best bet right now is to set up for a retake, and that's why you're seeing movement across the map going towards A main. If they can go for a split push, that could be good.
Elu, woo! She tried by Yoki
No.
and Felchai. They're ready. Get some insane upgrades there. Gonna rush forward. Second fight. Just get caught out here, and this is gonna rush out. Felchai doing so good. Already with the 29 HP left. She doesn't seem like she's gonna stop. Now, for MLT, what are you gonna do? Luna again, last person left alive. Gets caught out here by the person watching drop. And that's it. 3 rounds in a row. Gone. MLT don't have an answer yet.
Not quite yet, and with that, their momentum is lost, Tash. I mean, I can't believe it. We're seeing insane initiators right now. Felchai with those frags, and at the same time, yes, Coyote trying to do her same thing as well. Yoki was actually one of those players who fended off the A main flank, and with that, the rifle pickup, that was the big thing in the round for Neons. Let's see if they can carry this momentum forward and then start mounting a comeback.
Doesn't seem to want to stop. She is just pressing that W key. Non-stop aggression. She knows her teammates are just close by to trade her if anything. But she's feeling comfortable. Luna just caught off just like that. Another satchel onto site. So much space taken and so many areas cleared.
Spike planted.
A lot of it blocked off too. MLT just not quite the best advantage right now. Trying to secure some sight lines, but it's not opened up for NEONS. I mean MLT. Right underneath K's nose. But it's so tough for her to go and check that.
He's stunned. Hellchai. Big pick onto Angus. No more smokes, no more mollies, but Samfire. Nice pick with that Sheriff.
Ooh.
Make it 2 actually, as Yoki will stop the rampage from Aphrodite. Lu, 20 HP, Yamroll makes it big. And she wants to bring back yesterday's game.
Alright, now we're looking at that 6-10 scoreline. Almost maybe a bit of a slight half buy or thrifty win coming out from MLT with Sandfire and those Sheriff shots, but still, the guns from NEONS and their positioning in this post plant, each covering a lot of angles, making sure that, you know, it's just so difficult for MLT to peek out. They tried to make it happen, but K ultimately was pinned down, and even with Samfire pushing out from spawn, everything just was not going their way. Now we're going to see the full buys. We're going to see K on an Odin, your favorite weapon, Tash, but also 3 ultimates from NEONS.
Yeah, it's gonna be massive. But let's see how it's gonna go. Here we go. A nice chain of ultimates to come through. Jumps up Coyote! What was that movement? As the other members of MLT does get those picks though. Luna spots 1. Can she go for 2? Not quite. Coyote still very much aggressive. Still very much on fire. She can't see anything on the site right now. She can't do anything. Gonna be stopped. And Odin watching her. A Timmy the turret too. That's taken out of the way. And then with this concuss, what are you gonna do? They're just playing ring around the rosy with the spike. Goodbye and good night. MLT take the round.
Man, and that's 11-6. I was kind of hoping that it would be the Odin to like
Get
shred
the
her
kill.
up.
Yeah, that's always fun to watch.
But still,
that movement by I'm sorry, I am still freaking out about it because of what on earth? Onto that satchel, let her rip satchel out of the way, making sure that she survives that. Oh my god!
breakneck speeds right into the site. But then, I mean, still MLT being able to hold it down was just so impressive, and partially maybe in fact due to the Odin, but just everyone's positioning as well, reading and knowing how to play off of it, because although Coyote made it in, her teammates were a little bit slow on the follow-up. That said, now we're going into the next round. Because of the previous wins, NEONS still gets to buy back up. We still have Yamroll on the orbital strike. Kit Kat is 1 point away from her lockdown. If they could maybe go somewhere close enough to pick up an alt orb or 2, you might see a bit of impact. But I think that's why you're seeing MLT play so far back towards defender spawn. They want to go in for that retake. They know that NEONS are going to use their ultimates.
There we go. The ultimate's put down. They're just waiting. Immediately answered back. Broken. Just gonna immediately just aggress onto site, and that's exactly what they wanted. But Samfire is ready. Look at the sprays from the Odin, the displacement from the Rolling Thunder, and it's just a massacre on the site. NEONS have no choice but to retreat.
And they're just holding up around tree right now, Tash. Okay, going through underpass. I kind of like that.
30 seconds
But still, same positions from MLT. Samfire, in fact, watching the crossing, and Kate just slices someone in half.
With an Odin, that's what we wanted to see. Kit Kat, what can you do here? Right, Yamroll is pretty close by. They do have an angle they can play with, but Aphrodite's just spamming with that. You don't want to walk into that, honestly. Aphrodite goes down, but good enough.
It still is match point though, Tash, and at this point MLT has doubled their scoreline on top of NEONS, and it's really just such an impressive weapon. Like sometimes, you know, we laugh at it and then we think that like it's maybe a bit cringe, but
I was
it's
going
just
to
so
say that.
effective.
You know, it's kind of like we're watching Champions and everyone was like, oh my god, you're playing the judge. Oh, it's so cringe. It works, bro.
Yeah, because like they knew it was gonna be the alt execute, so that's the right call. Even if K for Daddy was smoked off, just hiding around generator, defender, spawn, just left click, bro. Just
Exactly.
left click
And
and
it
hold.
really denies a lot of space too. It's so hard to push through until she runs out of bullets, that is. But anyway, timeout is here from Neons. They want to stop whatever momentum they have and just hope that MLT gets stuck on match point. We've seen some teams actually go through that.
Mhm.
But in this situation with MLT, 3 ultimates, gonna be a bit hard.
It is, but it's also nice that they're just like not giving up.
Yeah.
That said, though, 12-6, it's not impossible to come back from again. We always have to say that, but it is MLT's map pick, so
Of
we kind of
course.
expect this performance coming out of them. And Neons, given the fact that this is a best of 5, it's not over yet for them.
Still another 4
But-
maps.
MLT is just looking so good right now.
MLT, as I told Raf yesterday, is the type of team that they are very thorough when it comes to the homework and the practice on a particular map that they are good at. And Fracture is definitely one of them. Because how many days in a row have we seen them have this almost perfect flawless run on maps like Fracture, Split?
Right?
But then their performance on Haven yesterday, you start to see that shake. And I'm wondering, if we do get next map, will we be seeing the same?
Could happen, could happen. But right now, they're just playing similar positions. A bit of that setup towards A main. The hit is going towards B. K is playing it safe. They're banking on their ultimates. If anything happens, Luna could always turn back around and use her Hunter's Fury to create a bit of chaos or maybe deny the spike plants. Coyote's aware of this, though, so she pushes into defender spawn just to check and clear out K for Didi.
She's playing in very deep, and that's what I really like about MLT. They're okay with giving out the site. They understand strength in numbers is what gives them the rounds. And what they're gonna do here is go for retakes. Perhaps a very aggressive retake is what they're looking for.
Waiting for those ultimates. It's gonna happen any second now, Dash.
Me too.
You just
I'm
gotta push out the
just
generator
waiting
first.
for that. Okay, Aphrodite will be the one leading the charge. She does have the lockdown available. Coyote this corner, but she just missed. Got timing, but she does find a different target altogether. Envious goes down, and you know what? Make that Lou as well. Aphrodite does find one. It really sprays through smoke. She gets 2 Kit Kat. Just spray and pray, baby. That's how you want to play with an Odin.
Still going in for it though. Sam holding the off angle, now pushing out Felchai. She's making her impact known, and with that, time enough saved. The spike will go off, and Neons gets to play for one more round.
Whew. They live
That
another
was, like,
day.
Yeah, we're just a little bit unlucky. Elu and then everyone like pushing out, and they just kind
Missed
of
each
narrowly
other.
missed. Yeah, Coyote as well.
I mean, Coyote did find a different target in the end, so that was all right. But I think for MLT, they don't want to give too many rounds to NE, and I think it's really important to think about that because when some teams, they start to choke after a while, and I think MLT, given the fact that they didn't use their timeouts early just now, they want to make sure that they can fully use this before they end the game.
Yeah, but I will say that like it's a bit of a double-edged sword, perhaps, and it's one of those things where you only call it when it's really necessary. Because right now they're seeing that there is some kind of game plan, some sort of gap in their defenses, and that's why Neon is able to walk away with so many of these rounds, right? 4 in a row starting with the second half, and then 1 from before. In order to close this out right now, they need to right that ship, but at the same time, this timeout is one that Neons can use to talk to each other. So you've got some ultimates, let's make them work, but how will Neons kind of adjust around this as well?
Could be huge if Coyote could get perhaps an orb, another pick. She's so close at Showstopper, and for these past few rounds, Coyote's Showstoppers have been massive. Either be a pick, or even just to create space. Just been huge. This time round, her momentum will be stopped by that Aftershock. Sorry, fault line. But we'll take our time. Just really make our way out. Aphrodite will be the one to get these orbs. It's been massive for MLT. They've been farming quite a lot of orbs whenever they can.
Just trying to make sure that they can kind of try to play the long game a bit as well. But the main thing right now is that a single mistake in this map will be over. MLT, look at how they've switched things up. Player on top of Dish, Luna watching Sands. And it's just this fault line that can connect onto all of them. Kind of does.
Huge start. Alu finds Coyote instead. But Kit Kat equalizing it. Nice two-piece. Melee just gonna back off, play with her teammates. Luna pushing out here. Perhaps a little bit too aggressive. Finds the corner. Good for one. Yamroll answers back. And now we're back. Even fields.
30
2-2.
seconds left.
Envious though with this
One
angle.
enemy remaining.
Oh no, Kit Kat finds her! First, Aphrodite with her Odin. She spots him out, playing it very, very slowly.
enemy remaining.
Finds one, moves out of the
Spike
way.
down A.
Ah, if she's able to get this with the Odin, Quack might get his wish.
Spike planted.
Yeah, she does! With the Odin. To a clean fracture from MLT. And that's map 1 for the girls of MLT.
I got my wish. It ends with an Odin kill.
Defenders win.
Again, I mean, just as we start out the map, right? Clutch Aphrodite, pistol round, you know, she's always there. And then she's there at the end as well. 1-on-2. Very nice, very clean. And that's a 13-7. It is MLT's map pick, so we kind of expect this performance from them. But we also see signs of life from NEONS starting out in the second half. Those 4 rounds won in a row was pretty damn good.
It was. And we also know that some teams can be the teams that might set up or warm up a little bit later. Perhaps map 2 might be their jackpot map. Again, yesterday, Haven was not really the map that MLT was able to take. So let's see what our panel say. Mika, Raph, on to you.
I gotta say, I'm not too surprised that NEONS was actually able to make, that big of a comeback. But I think that, I do think that MLT closing it out, this was revenge for them, especially since, NEONS, we know that they do that. When they're trailing a bit behind, they do tend to have that comeback once the side switch, right? But MLT, good on them for keeping their composure and closing out this map.
Absolutely, and it took so long for NEONS to identify this very phalanx style approach for MLT. They kind of basically gave up a lot of the early map control, but since they already had the round advantage, we saw NEONS be very cautious. They invested a lot of utility just to make, again, those first 30 seconds of the map as safe as possible. But this was exactly what MLT wanted to happen. They were just holding down CT and keeping their rotations very, very easy. And as soon as that site hits, they're very confident in just kind of bulldozing NEONS in a 5v5 situation. As our casters mentioned, we did see signs of life on NEON's side, but again, maybe perhaps it's just a slow day for NEONS, but this is quite a long series, Mika. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially since NEONS, they over the past few days, they are one of those teams that, they might start out slow, but once they gain momentum, they really, really get the ball rolling, right? NEONS is the kind of squad wherein it's like, if they take a round, it's a warning shot. And if they take 2, start getting really worried, because if they take 3, they're probably taking 2 more, right? But on the side of MLT, though, I love that they close this out, very, very calm, very composed, and Aphrodite really, really pulling in, with those, with a few very, very important rounds for the squad. I do have to commend Coyote, though, with some of those moves on the Rays. You could see Tash freaking out with with some of those. Definitely, I think she is one of the star players that we have on NEONS. With Aphrodite, though, I don't know, my eyes were on her. She was just always at the right place at the right time.
Right place at the right time. You could say that for Alu as well. Every time MLT would have a pick, they were ready to wedge and just kind of break the formation of NEONS. And you kind of saw a little bit of panic on NEONS. They were in a stance where they could punish, but MLT, I feel like they were the more daring team, and that's just the sign of confidence and how they prepared for this map. Again, Quack and Victoria and Even Tash has mentioned that MLT, they operate on Fracture at the highest levels. They are such a dangerous team. And the way that they structured themselves around Luna's utility, that being their one clear advantage, their range over the Fade, was such a simple yet effective thing to do.
I think that, also the Sova on Fracture is becoming very, very popular these days, isn't it? I think that, once people saw how it actually works, like, with the main leagues that we had, it's so easy to pick up. And I feel like, with these teams, Luna, for example, was exemplary on this. And I feel like she gave so much value, so much information to her team. I feel like now we are heading into Haven, though, and there is potential for NEONS to finally make that comeback that I feel like we've been waiting for, because this is a map that they are very comfortable on. They do have a lot of experience on it as well, more so than MLT. And I think that, I think you're probably right, Raf. We could be in for a long series tonight, but we'll be continuing that right after this very quick break. We are heading into Haven right after, guys, so don't go away. Map 1 goes over to MLT eSports here at VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ, our final series of the day. Map number 2 though, Raph, I'm not quite sure given the history that Neons have on this map.
That is true. And talking about Haven in general, I think the biggest weakness that we've seen so far from MLT is that they're a little disjointed on their hits. Yes, the gun power is still very, very prevalent. The way that they try to command a strong point on the map as both the attacking team and the defending team is still very, very much clear-cut. However, I think their natural ability to playmake as individuals can get them in a lot of trouble. We saw that a lot with the Luwu, who tends to anchor with the operator in positions that can get flushed out. Proved to be a little problematic. Plus, you add in the proficiency of Neon, as you've mentioned, to the mix. It just does not bode well for MLT.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering what kind of compositions we're going to be seeing, right? I mean, like for these two teams in particular, I don't think we could potentially see a mirror matchup over here since both teams tend to run the same composition. I don't know if these two teams would be adventurous enough to switch something up. I am excited of the thought of, again, just seeing Jet one more time because I think this is the last tournament we actually get to see her in this full double updraft glory.
You know, I don't think I would say I'm a Jet main, but I can feel for all our Jet players out there. Oh my goodness, the pain. I feel like the dash is still very much like present in how she can entry, but I feel like the Cloudburst has just damaged her ability to dominate
nothing.
that
it's
space.
Nothing,
it's
right?
just like, aha, now you don't see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here without my team, guys. You know, it's okay.
Oh,
don't hurt me.
It's essentially like the Cloudburst and the updraft as well. You're losing so much vantage points already. There's so many spots that you will no longer be able to peek from, right? But for these two teams, I mean, I think that, you know, I think we're potentially seeing that mirror matchup once more. MLT eSports, though, for me, is a big question mark this time. Yes, the momentum is in their favor, I would say, but Neons, I don't know. I just can't deny that history that we have here. MLT have only played Haven like 4 times throughout this whole throughout their history so far, and Neons have just had it just far more many times, and they have such a wide playbook at this already.
And you were absolutely correct. Everybody is just kind of going for the safe pick here, but as we've mentioned many times before, it's not necessarily the agents we're gonna see, or rather, it's not going to affect how they're gonna play. In fact, it's gonna highlight the key differences in the approach of this map. Man, again, just talking about the last dance of Jet. This is maybe one of the few times we're gonna see her and her 6-orb ultimate. Man, I feel like that's gonna hurt a lot because Jet's knives, they're just so important for those eco rounds when you need just that extra push from your star player, especially in the form of Coyote and Aluwu. But history. Neons, I think step 1 for them right now, Mika, is to just not be affected from that very, very dominant performance from MLT eSports on Fracture. And I feel like it's still a little suspicious on the side of MLT eSports because they are one of those super pendulum-like teams. They'll be amazing on one map and then just kind of fizzle out on the next.
Yeah, and I think for Neons, their dynamic is more of like, you know, they're slow to start, but once they do, they can really like I was telling I believe I was telling Black and Blue the other day, she kind of like her agent namesake, which is pretty much like the overdrive. She can go really, really fast. She has so much momentum, but there is a timer. So they need to be able to make sure that they're able to close out the rounds, close out the map by the time that timer runs out, right? They can tend to run out of steam. So I feel like that's those are the two dynamics we're playing here. So it's going to be a huge question indeed as to who takes Haven. It's going to be a big indicator of who takes the series. So let's find out and throw it on over to our casters.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to be seeing MLT on their redemption round to see whether or not this time they can take Heaven. I still can't say Heaven properly. I'm stuck, man.
It took me a second to like register. It just I was like, yes, Tash, she's doing it, and then she says Heaven.
No,
like...
it didn't work out. No, it didn't work. But you know, hopefully, you know what's gonna work at this match. Map 2, Haven. Thank you very much. Yes. Haven, MLT Neons. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that this is happening. Now, MLT looks like they changed up a little bit how they want to play or how they want to approach this map. But for Neons, what are you expecting, Quack?
I'm expecting them to do really well because their track record on Haven is really, really good. Like a 71% win rate, and this is not just for LCQ; it's across the whole of Game Changers APAC 2023. They're very experienced on this map, right? 10 wins, 4 losses for exact numbers, and it's always this composition, so they're not really changing anything up, and you're expecting them to go in full force, full ham. Meanwhile, for MLT, right, it's just one of those things where we're mentioning how they've come together somewhat recently, and it's not always necessarily the best record so far. Raf had really good points about how MLT, sometimes it's just individual firing power, and sometimes it gets a little bit disjointed. So unless they can come in together a lot more coordinated, we might see a less savory performance.
No, it's not savory. I'm being cyberbullied in the chat right now by Mika and Raf. That quick push onto the side is what we're gonna be seeing by Coyote. She just walked through that recon. She does not care. I'm here. I don't care. Come and get me. Like, come through, but Coyote in this corner, nasty. Sunfire Luna, though, will answer back at the very least. Now, Sunfire all alone.
Ooh.
Can she get one more? One, just
2
one,
HP.
5 bullets in the back. Yamro so low! 2 HP is all she needs! And she takes the pistol.
What is happening? It's like similar clutches again and again and again, and it's just Yamroll 2 HP, a simple tap to the head, and that's what gives Neon the supposed pistol round, basically robbed away from MLT. And it comes down to how MLT, yes, they initially had some great defensive positions on the A site, coming in, rotating fast enough, but down to it, Yamroll was a little bit more cold. And that means Neons gets to buy up. It's full Spectres. They're going full speed into the A site. Again, Luna might not know what's going to hit her, but it's going to be the Sheriff that hits Neons instead.
Sheriff hits one, Spectre to hit the other. But we gotta give it to Luna. Her standing there, that one pick, slowed down their momentum just a tiny bit. Sunfire could be playing together with NVS as possible, trying to catch if anyone were to push out. Not gonna be happening though. It's Neon's discipline incredibly high. They don't want to throw any round they can.
Gun here.
Trying to make it safe as well now. The fault line just to clear out the back, but K4Daddy sneaks up regardless with the Spectre.
How is
letting
this just
it rip. She
walking
sprays
up?
and bursts them down. A triple kill Tash for the thrifty win.
She just walks up. Hello. Is this your site? No, it's my site. Goodbye and good night. What a thrifty. Again, reminding you guys that this is one of the Game Changers tournaments I have seen this many round 2 thrifties.
I just can't believe it.
Look at that, she just walks up. No one even noticed her. What on earth was that? Regardless, as we go into this map, 13-7 from just now, NEONS wants to really show that they can make it big as well. This is their map pick.
It's just gonna keep on going. It's your map pick, so you want to secure the win, because if not, you're just gonna go into the next and never quite sure what's gonna happen, especially with the fact that this is now a qualifying match for Elite. NEONS, they need as much as they can get. So going in for the spike plant now, but K4Daddy just watches the angle out by C-Link. KitKat, a bit of a delayed push, a bit of a lurk. She takes out Envious. Close range is going to be Coyote with the Frenzy and playing around the Cloudburst now. Baiting Sandfire into a bit of a peek, but still with the numbers. It's K4Daddy again, Tash. A quad kill with the Spectre.
She's doing hella damage with these Spectres. And again, just being able to just catch people off guard as she just walks up. Her teammates are just there to become the distraction, just allowing her for those nice backstabs. But look at this. This corner she played in, she cleared that out. Yes, everyone's a little bit more distracted toward KitKat. Then, as Coyote does a lot of damage with that Frenzy, she just shoots up straight in her face, catches her in the middle of her casting that ultimate.
And again, like they kind of line up for Cade. It just keeps happening.
It's like
7 kills, 1 death.
The
in
planets
round
are
4,
aligning
Tash.
for her, you know?
Yeah.
The Mercury retrograde.
Yo, what? Nice. And with that retrograde, I guess, K490 now has her lockdown available, which is a huge thing in this round 4. She just might be able to seize that momentum away from Neons. Of course, they're all setting up for it, and K wants to try and get lucky again with the sprays. Not quite catching them this time, though.
Bomb grenade out.
Playing a little bit more back this time, MLT. They're understanding that having these rifles mean that they have no choice to gut that smoke, they have to push. So can get a little bit more value from playing a little bit far more back. Regardless, nice little clear by KitKat. Just to make sure no one will be pushing out from mid. But for now, cut the noise. Let MLT be on their toes. See if they can force a rotation. Or perhaps a fake.
Make them sweat. Kind of buying out some of those dark covers from Envious, perhaps? Another one does get thrown out, and this one blocks off Garage, interestingly enough. So it leaves the mouth of C-Long open, and it comes down to the gunfights. K is prepared for this.
Oh, Envious and K490, look at how nasty and aggressive this firepowers were from 4 different angles, just coming straight to Long. A rough time for Neons, but I have to really give it to MLT. Whatever it is that they had trouble with, at least for now that I've seen, they had on Haven yesterday, they seem to have fixed it.
Almost, yeah, looks pretty good. I'm not gonna say they're completely out of the woods yet, though. It's still rather early.
That's why I said from as far as
But-
I've seen, so.
Right? It's
Yeah.
still so good. The way that they just kind of held against that full buy from Neons. So with that, now it's momentum on their side. Neons having a bit of a half buy, Sheriffs, Marshals, and keep in mind, MLT are building up on those ultimates now. They don't necessarily have to use them in this round. And that's going to be something that carries forward into, future buy rounds from Neons. Double swing, Envious, double kill.
Envious! Farm 2! But Coyote also says, look at me! A tap! Straight onto Alu. Luna? Contemplating this push. Perhaps not. Playing this corner just to catch them off guard if they decide to push into the area. That alarm bot will give a lot of value, especially with the vulnerable that it can give.
Does block off B, but right now push headed towards A, given how there was quite a bit of resistance towards C, and knowing that MLT are very likely to control Garage and B with bits of utility. So they're just going to try to kind of walk up A, checking out a lot of these corners, and it is indeed clear. They might be able to stick a free spike plant.
30 seconds.
Oh,
Then the Rolling Thunder
thought
from
too
Sam.
soon. That is a really good timing. They didn't even get to stick it, but the plan does come through. Slowly but surely, Luna is just playing these angles, clears out Graffiti, and the other members of MLT just rain havoc from the heavens. Oh my god, I hate those 2 words.
You're all right, Tej. You got it right. You got it right. But still, I mean, 4-1. It's just, clear, I guess, procedures coming out from MLT this time. But that said, it was a little bit expensive. It was the Rolling Thunder spent to kind of deny the spike plant for the time being. I like that Yoki sent out the fault line back just to kind of counter and buy a bit more time to stick the plant all the way through. So now they'll have a little bit more money in the next round. But it is still a 4-1. Neons needs this round.
MLT, you really gotta give it to them. They have really good reads, really good timing, and on top of that, really good op shots. Felchai, head popped. No Sova, it's gonna be a little bit harder to go in for that information. No recon, no shock dart, no Aldrone. Coyote, speed not able to be just used quite yet. We're just waiting for the other utility to come through, but the ultimate is there for the counter.
Too late.
Yeah, lockdown.
Spike planted.
And Neons needs to back up.
Worthless.
With that, they're trying to run away, but Sam is just right on their heels. Nips away at Yoki. 2 players left. Kit Kat trying to come back into the fray, but already blocked off by Elu, along with Kfredaddy watching the spike and the defuse. MLT are unstoppable right now, Tash.
Really good reads, really good timing. It's just almost impossible. You can see that they want to try and fight for control of A main. Why do we have an Opper like a Lu they're holding? It's gonna be a problem. Like it or not, Neons, in my opinion, they're gonna have to play a little bit more back. Flash, displace Elu. Then perhaps they can get a little bit more advantage if they were going to try to take control of sewers or long.
Yeah, you're just going to need to assess your options and try something different, because currently, in that previous round at least, you know that they were trying to make something happen off of the ultimates that they had saved up, but all 5 members going down A long, just running past A short without much cover. You know, it's a little bit expensive sometimes. You're thinking you might have to use your Cloudburst or not, but then Elu right around the corner with an op was really the last thing that they expected. And I think that's one of those things that kind of slowed down their pushes, and also gave MLT a lot of information as to how to play around the sites. So again, it's MLT this time doing a much better job as compared to, you know, maybe the previous days, of getting this early information, getting early map control, and kind of contesting for it and slowly backing off. Neons, on the other hand, it's just tough for them to kind of break through this. Not unless they can, you know, find some opening frags of their own.
They're still doing or hitting A. They realized that there was no op on A site, but look at that quick rotation from Elu. Already, she has the knives, she has the op, she can just quickly play the aggressive game at any moment. Coyote, let's get on site. Displace Elu now, no op out of the way, Hunter's Fury. Luna just buy some time, and she is taken out of the way by Felchai. The better Hunter wins, and it's gonna be her.
And that completely turned things around, Tash. We're suddenly now in a 3-on-5, and MLT, unless they can find a couple more picks, this is going to be a really tough retake. Envious, Paranoia out. She tries to push them back. Kay will be able to secure A short, but at the same time, Sam drops.
All eyes are on Kfredaddy to make that last play. Unfortunately, Yamro, what a TP play! Just teleport straight in that corner, catches them off guard. Kfredaddy for 20.
Looks like I was.
Can't do more than that. And this time around, no clutch for Daidi.
Win. Show me where to go.
Not too much. It was truly difficult because the entire site was basically surrounded. But that said, still, MLT just this time getting stopped in their tracks. It was that perfect ultimate counterplay coming out from Neons. And it's just so lovely to watch, right? Luna thinks like, okay, I probably have this one. I can deny the spike plant. And then suddenly a Hunter's Fury from Felchai gets thrown at her face. And Luna was trying to hop away from it, but she forgot that she was inside that Hunter Fury draw animation, which slows down your movement speed. So coming out to the next part now, it's going to be Coyote with a Blade Storm, but she's already spent quite a few knives. Left with 1. MLT now putting up a roadblock, blocking them off from the A site. Luna.
Look at this! She's not scared! And she gets 1! Thankfully, Coyote has that shorty. Doesn't really take her out of the way. Kfredaddy, quick for 1 only, and suddenly Neons is on a steamroll. Perhaps that timeout was exactly what they needed to just take the momentum back into their side.
The angles I can't.
Just bringing things back, and now it's going to be a 3-on-5. Neons slowly working their way back in, regardless of whether or not the blades are there. The shorty is what makes the difference. The shorty is what gives them that upgrade, along with those ultimates again, of course, but still, it's up to MLT to how they can continue forward with their momentum, right? You don't want to let that slip. It's already starting to, you know, let loose and go away.
I love shorty gaming. Just bringing Paper Rex ideal here to Asia Pacific. Regardless, Coyote, she's been massive with this first context, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. Luna out of the way means that one of the top heavy hitters of MLT out of the way, alongside their information gatherer. And he, okay, this time around, gonna go for the rotation, but Kfredaddy, for 2! Can't go more than that, but she does put a huge dent in their side.
Which is pretty good. We're back to round 3. Kit Kat walking in. I think she wanted to call them to rotate over, or maybe to set up a bit of a flank, but that's it. She got sussed out by Sam.
Envious.
And then you've got Envious. Perfect reads by MLT now with the information that they retrieved.
MLT has this really insane off angles that you wouldn't think to check. There was one in the mid rotation by Kifrodite, Envious just a little bit, not in the very top corner of logs, but a little bit to the front, which means that as soon as you come inside, if you're not quick enough to look there, you're down and out. It's been massive for them, but I think this is a very good timeout.
Okay. Timeout after a win.
Collect your thoughts.
I mean, again, it's their ultimates that they're holding on to and trying to figure out how to secure as big of a lead as possible, because now if they win 3 more rounds, it would be a 9-3 for MLT. But also, I mean, just right now, you're talking about how they have positioned themselves on site sometimes with the off angles that perhaps like Envious is holding. But what's also really impressive is if you were put in their shoes right now and you're just thinking about how the rounds play out. If NEONS comes in with a big execute, sometimes MLT struggle with the retake or denying the spike plant. But when you have players like Kfrodite, sometimes just sneaking up out of nowhere, going in towards grass, and she picks off 2 players. That's why she's on top of the scoreboard right now with 16 kills and 4 deaths only, Tash. That's the key. She has a lockdown. She has so much to provide, and she's always so sneaky, coming up clutch in these crazy moments where you just don't expect it. So I'm excited to see what she can do right now. It's the same setup, blocking out Garage with her turret, and also just kind of controlling the mouth of B with an alarm bot. They're reading the situation right now and hovering around these sites while sending a Lu up. And that's Kit Kat gone. The IGL of Neon struck down.
Alongside Yamroll. 2 for 1. Not even 2 for 1. It's a buy 1 free 1 rather. It's just a really good push, honestly. They knew that there was contact happening on C. Immediately Lu walks up. It gives her a lot of value. Coyote coming up. Okay, Aphrodite. Not sure if she suspects something, but Luna will be there. Very sharp. Finds one. Will be answered back by Felchai. But Felchai gonna be displaced by that utility. Aphrodite can't do more than that. Felchai, now we're in a 1 versus 3. What's she gonna do? She hits it one more time. A 3. Goes for the reposition 4. Can she ace this is the question. And Lu, final person standing from MLT. She has the blades. She can make something happen, but slowly she makes her way to the site just to make sure that she doesn't give herself away. Here comes the blades. Not sure if she saw that. Some hits, and she does save the day. Massive picks by Felchai, but Elu denies the win.
Dude, she didn't even like try to aim for that. She just went full in, like knowing that first of all you get a little bit more movement speed, right? You don't have to hold out your Vandal and run. You just have your Blade Storm and it's full movement speed. You have your Tailwind, you have your Updraft. So she would be able to seize the initiative right on top of Felchai as soon as the spike goes down. I think having that recognition and then going in for it, just being that confident wins MLT the round. But that said, what an incredible 4K coming out of Felchai.
Look at her, how she played that. She got pick, quickly pretended to leave, make it look like she was about to leave. Double dips again and catches them off guard. Huge in terms of movement, the micro adjustments, phenomenal.
Gonna need a lot of that still though. It is a 7-3 and Neons are struggling to find a lead. We haven't seen any round leads coming out of them yet so far today. They're just trying to crack across the site still, but it's Sheriffs this round, and MLT are just feeling confident, peeking out bit by bit, trying to find picks.
Those taps felt very personal, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
They're just so sharp, Luna! What is that?
You know what's personal is shooting at people's corpses.
We don't talk about that, you know. I'm still reeling after that, but yeah, we're walking up with the Marshall. That is personal. You can't tell me that isn't.
30 seconds left.
It just goes in and takes a head off. Now Luna coming back in, looking for another pick as well. It's down to a 3-on-3, but guess what? Envious all the way behind them, they will have no clue.
Plant. But look at this chain of ultimates. Luna!
Spike down,
Two!
B.
With a Hunter's Fury alongside that Rolling Thunder. Just now Luna just winning. Angles! Catches Yoki off guard. That's an ace! Oh my god! What did I miss? That's an ace!
Last round before the switch.
Oh my god!
Enemy down.
It is an ace. I mean, she did all these little peeks out and getting information off of her teammates' deaths. She comes in huge with it. And it secures them the 8th win in a round. Even if this doesn't end in a 9-3, she would at least secure her team an 8-4. And it's I mean, I don't know. I was kind of thinking like maybe it's a little bit overkill with 2 ultimates for an anti-eco round, but still, a win's a win, all right? A win's a win.
A win's a win, and a snowball is a snowball. The most important thing in Valorant is playing the mental game, and Envious plays these corners so perfectly. She manages 2, and so does her teammate Samfire. 9-3 half. Caster's
Switching
curse
sides.
activate quack question mark.
Okay. I mean, I am in question marks right now. You know who can answer our question marks? Is the panel. Mika and Raf. Caster's curse question mark?
I'm actually okay with there not being a caster. Oh, what a way to distract me. Oh, no, no. It's over. I forgot what I was saying. Oh,
It's
no.
okay. She got very excited from the game, so she decided to drop by, and she basically noticed MLT basically undoing every mistake that they've done in the past few days, especially for Haven. There was definitely a lot of prep work happening, especially behind the scenes. If anything, Neons looked really, really disjointed. They took a lot of those early fights trying to get control of the middle portion of the map. They tried to take garage control. It just looked so messy, and they were playing right into the trap of MLT. Isn't that right, Mochi?
Oh, see, I totally forgot what I was saying. That's literally the way to distract me. You bring out some kind of furry animal, and Tita Mika, Auntie Mika is immediately distracted, which is totally fine because we are throwing it back to our casters and getting back into Haven. Haven Tash, say it with me.
Tash?
Heaven. Just kidding. Welcome back
Tash?
to Haven.
Yay!
I didn't really get a lot from that halftime other than Mochi. I
Yeah,
love Mochi.
honestly.
Yeah. But now it's a competition, you know? Fifi versus Mochi.
Dang. Oh, okay.
It's rough.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's we're all fawning over Mochi. Mika's fawning over Mochi. But we gotta get back to the game. Still a 9-3 first half, and we're seeing a lot of that previous early round aggression from MLT. Now swapping sides, and they're going aggressive. Neon's trying to set up a bit of a flank. They pushed out of A long.
Elu, backside already. Full clear of the area, and this time around it's Neons. Left to play for the retake. They wait outside. They know that the aggression will come through from MLT. They did not realize! Just like that. 1, take it out of the way. Felchai clears out Cubby. Realizing that's 4 coming in from the flank. But they do have the utils to come through. Coyote caught just like that by Luna, Samfire. 3 clean, flawless picks by Luna herself. And despite that 4-person flank, it didn't give them that value they wanted.
I think Neon's needs a mental reset. Just going into the second half, you could see that they tried to go for a different game plan, but it's one that plays to MLT's advantage because they just recognized that, first of all, the site might be clear. Everyone pushed up, and because it was clear, they were given so much freedom to set up post-plant positions. KitKat wasn't really able to do much, just hiding outside of C-Link. So 10-3 now, and we're going forward.
Some teams, you can really see how much they learn from their mistakes and their losses, and MLT is definitely one of them. They lost yesterday, I believe, 13-6, 13-7. Not as clean as what we saw on Fracture. And I questioned, like, is this one of those maps where they just don't do so well? Luna, opening pick, make it
Player remaining.
2-4. Just clearing out the whole way. It seems like for Neons, they're just gonna have to wait for the rifle round, hopefully get the momentum back in the bag.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say 5.
I mean,
But it's Luna with, 4 kills again, Tash.
She's cursed. She's cursed. She got the ace, yeah, but like in most situations, she's cursed. There's always going to be a rare K4Deity or Eliwu there just to take the last one.
Past couple of days, the win is a win, and right now it's the fact that with those kills, Luna.
What are you saying?
Okay, fine, but she's 1 point away from her Hunter's Fury.
You're right.
That's what stands out to me because she could use that, especially in this round. The bonus, as long as MLT wins this, it's effectively the game over, and Eliwu is already going crazy onto the side, dashing in.
That's right, Yamroll will be caught out by Envious. And more pressure, more firepower, just really thrown toward the side of CT. They can't do anything. Perhaps a push into garage. You're gonna find K4Deity tucked into that corner. Gonna play off her utility, gets her information, but she hasn't reacted at all. She knows how to play the way of the ninja. Conceal, don't feel. And Coyote, she tries to do the most. But when other members of MLT knows where exactly to hold this very, I would say, unorthodox angles, it's just so hard.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Tash. I mean, one backside, just kind of some playing around garage as well, peeking in and out, and Sam being sharp to go and burst them down. This is now match point. And NEONS does not have that much left in the bank. You're seeing KitKat with that glass cannon by. The rest of them barely able to scrounge up enough for utility, if not just some rifles and light shields. Match point for MLT. Backs against the wall for NEONS. Can they bounce back right now?
We've seen moments where things are dire and they manage to come back. Not sure if NEONS has an idea or an answer, but if anything, would love to see them. I can't even say excuse me, I can't really say that NEONS is playing anything wrong. It's more just MLT reading them right.
It really is. I mean, you're just seeing how aggressive they are with it sometimes, but also knowing how they might play defense on C site. And that's why Eliwu took that route back around to the spot. Okay, kick it out.
Whoa. Heart attacks through and through. 4 HP. She has not moved at all, but Luna does find the other killjoy. And K4Deity to 4 HP. She is just so good at conceal, don't feel. Look at that, but will be shut down by Yamroll and is holding very cleanly. She lets out a few shots and plays still close to the corner, but will eventually be shut down.
Scanning ahead.
All right. That brings things back for a second. Luna is low, so we're down to the 2-on-2. Aftershock to block off the mouth of Garage, which is pretty nice, but they still have the option to just kind of wrap back around. Spike is taken away, though, and Felshai has to make a move, but she's been stunned up. Yamroll online for the ace to shut out the map, but no, run out of time. That's gonna be MLT.
That's not happening. That's not happening.
Spike going off, Tash, 13-3.
An ace. But yet, you lose the game. It's like a red pill, blue pill moment, no? The situation. You win the round. You get an ace. But you lose the game. And that's it. 2-0 score in MLT's favor. And after this, we go to another MLT map, Lotus. Whether or not NEONS has an answer to that is the question we have. Because this is the final chance for NEONS to take it home. To be the first team to make it into Elite. For now, going back to Mochi and Mika, Raph, you do not exist.
I thought Tash was just gonna say going back to Mochi, and that's it.
She's actually here on my. She's on my mouse pad right now. She loves.
Oh, she.
hanging out on it.
Aww.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, guys, if you love your dogs, get an artisan mouse pad. They seem to really love sitting on it, and as you can see, Mochi is already clamoring back to go on it. So I'm just gonna put her right here, my little analyst. Say hello.
Aww. I know. It's
Say hello.
so cute.
Mwah.
Aww. Too adorable.
seems- Okay.
Too
do you wanna go
adorable.
back? Okay. Stay on the.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think Mochi is putting herself in a better position to check out or maybe analyze a little bit further what happened to Neons on that map, because I was expecting something just a little bit. I was expecting a little bit more pushback for this. Right, Mochi? I think that I think she probably agrees. She probably wants to say something about that.
Oh, absolutely. And from what I've heard from Mochi, who's been diligently watching this game, is that, you know what, Quack and Tosh have talked about it. Maybe Neons just need a mental reset because this is supposedly one of their best maps, and suddenly they get strong-armed by MLT. I really appreciate the fact that MLT have been sticking with their guns. They're probably the most proficient force buy team we have in LCQ. Neon's got that pistol, if I remember correctly, and then they were like, hey guys, let's get Spectres. Let's not let this flourish into anything bigger. And again, there were a lot of exchanges when it comes to aces and a lot of flashy moments for both these teams. Still a lot of willpower being thrown to just compete. But at the same time, operating as a unit is MLT. Their trades were that much more cleaner. And it seemed like Neons were just looking for a way into the site, no matter how much it cost, whether it be player cost or utility cost. They just could not break through.
Yeah, and Kphrodite was, Tash mentioned it, Conceal don't feel like it doesn't matter what you try to throw at her. She will try and, at least get a trade. At the very least, expected to make a trade every single round, right? But Luna was somebody that I had my eyes on because she was just amazing. How many rounds did she get? Like 4K or 3K?
Oh, yeah.
She did so much for her team as well as her utility usage as well. And I guess I'm just like, I'm really surprised because, again, highlighting earlier, this was a squad that's just weeks old, right? This is a squad that is barely even an infant, so to say, in VCT terms, I guess. So this is so impressive for them to band together right when you need it the most.
They're basically a bunch of Terminators at this point. It's crazy because we were wondering, Mochi, maybe not my mouse. Anyway, we were wondering maybe there would be some sort of language barrier because this is considered a mixed team in terms of just kind of like, communicating. But everybody has just been operating almost as if they're all one hive mind, right? Kphrodite just looked so incredibly crisp, especially in that first half. I believe there was a point in time where she was 10-1. And one thing that we have to highlight is how active she was as a sentinel defending. She always kept Neons guessing. They could not pivot off any strong side because virtually there was no weak side.
That's an excellent point to make. Also because Neons was just playing so passively, which is like they were basically just giving MLT like all this space, all, every single, like almost rolling out the red carpet for them to work with, right? And, you could really feel it, especially as the rounds went on and up until the very end, you could almost feel like a sense of desperation that they didn't know exactly where to go because MLT was closing in around them. And, for MLT, again, you mentioned that the squad is like so diverse. So like the comms is usually always a factor, right? But Neons, I would expect the hive mind to come from them, considering that they're made up of all Thai players. So this is really confusing. I'm wondering if we're in for a potential, 5 maps, as you mentioned. This is the moment for Neons to be able to do that, right? Otherwise, MLT, the series could be yours. We're going to find out which outcome we'll be seeing right here on VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ right after this very quick break. Hey, Monty.
Deleted.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down.
welcome back from that very entertaining break. I hope it was as entertaining for you as it was for us behind the
Do you want to sing
scenes.
Wonderwall?
But for now,
No, I'm not
for
gonna.
now, we'd like to introduce Raph with his rendition of Wonderwall. No. Right now, though.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. By the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, because I've distracted all of you with Mochi, I actually changed shirts because Mika was
That's
telling me
right.
that does not look blue. So I have something that has a little bit of blue, a little bit of black, I think, and a lot more white. So now I completely match.
You're now a Oni Vandal cosplay, essentially.
Uh,
Yes, the porcelain version.
Yeah.
Not
Somebody
the,
pick me up on the floor.
Not the Arizona Tea version.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that.
Actually, yeah.
That's my skin. The only Arizona Tea version. But yes, looking at our map results right now, we are seeing that MLT eSports really are determined to get that final slot, or that first slot rather, into the finals, and to guarantee that guaranteed slot into Elite. We're seeing here a 2-0 so far in this best of 5. It's not looking good for Neons, and the real question is really, Raph, if this is a slow start for them or if this is a downward spiral.
Oh my goodness, that is just so hard to identify, right? Considering Haven should have been the map where they springboarded their momentum, but MLT, they just look that much more refined and that much more prepared. Neons, you would have expected them to have at least some sort of backup plan. Just maybe, again, have the mind to stop the bleeding, but they just kept, as you mentioned, spiraling. I hope that 2-0 start was the slow start for Neons, because me personally, I thought Neons was going to be the tournament favorites, but my, MLT have been quite a surprise. Although Lotus, incredibly fickle as a map, you can start 11-0 and end on 13-11. So with that being said, I am hoping that both these teams can get, can hold it down to either close it or to come back.
Oh, well, it is a best of 5. Maybe they extended the slow start, so to say. I mean,
Just maybe.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe it is going to be indeed, something to say, because I think that Neons right now in Lotus, they actually do play something rather interesting. They do tend to bring out the Gecko, which is something that, as we
Ooh.
saw in earlier series, when you bring out a composition that, utilizes something that is a little out of the box, sometimes teams don't exactly know how to deal with it. And we actually did see the Gecko, in previous series again, have some moderate success just because teams didn't exactly know how to handle all of these creatures being thrown in their faces. So that is, I could think, potentially a wild card that Neons could bring into this map.
I mean, that's also very telling of what happened to you earlier when I showed Mochi on the camera. You just seemed
Yes.
very stunned, but
Exactly.
I think
Concussed.
the concussed, the Gecko pick, I think, would probably help the isolation a little bit better on the side of Neons. But the problem is, every time you have a Gecko on the board, there's just that much more investment to keep the Neon safe. And again, just from the first 2 maps, MLT have been keeping their main initiator, which is Luna, so safe, and allowing her to go absolutely crazy. So we're probably gonna have a bit of a duel here with either the Tasmanian Tiger, the Guiding Light, or everything in Gecko's arsenal.
Probably. It's gonna be a bit of a
Trainer
zoo
battle.
comp. Yeah. Pokemon battle here. I think, my eyes are gonna be on Luna, absolutely, and Kphrodite here, especially since she's now switching from the Killjoy over to the Viper, and we have seen her play that lurking role extremely well in previous series and stuff. So I'm excited to see her back on this Viper. I'm excited to see Sapphire as well take on the Sentinel role too. This role swap is actually could also throw a wrench into whatever Neons is expecting here and what they're expecting to throw back to MLT. So, I don't know, a bit of a toss of small changes coming in here for both teams, but they could be very important ones.
That is true. You talked about the roaming and the potential lurk threat that Kphrodite can pretty much threaten Neons with, but Kit Kat is on the prowl with that Cypher, who is incredible for that type of application. Hopefully we're gonna see a little bit more of a duel between these two and a little bit more fight out of Neons. But Mika, you talked about the zoo, all the animals. of course, our tandem for tonight is still going to be Quack Bunny. So take it away, guys.
Quack,
Yeah,
quack, quack.
that was pretty amazing, Raph. It's
That
a
was
great
pretty.
segue. We are animals. Quack Bunny.
Wait. How does a bunny sound?
What? Huh?
How does a bunny sound?
They bee-hop. I don't know what sound they make.
Let us know in the chat what sounds your bunny pets do. But anyways, we won't listen to Quack on how a bunny sounds. That is wrong. Anyways, going into Lotus, my favorite map coming into this game, and it is the greatest map of all time. We have rituals on that map. We have, I don't know if we have Victoria's favorite segment on that map, wine session. Hopefully, don't think the observers for this one do spot the tacti bear though. But MLT eSports versus NEONS. This is MLT's chance to secure a 3-0 and qualify straight to Elite. Or will we be seeing NEONS take it back and bring us to a 3-1? Sorry, 2-1, excuse me.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's why you're seeing, you know, the player cams and NEONS, like, they're trying to cheer each other out. They're trying to keep that dream alive. And it's definitely on this map where they stand a pretty good chance, because kind of like our panel is talking about, it's a little bit interesting with the agent compositions, but also definitely this Gecko being pulled out, right? NEONS have had a flawless 100% win rate so far throughout the group stage that every time they played on Lotus. So this does inspire some confidence, despite this being MLT Esports' map pick.
Taking the time. I was quite surprised. I wasn't asking you earlier. Never mind. Hold that thought. First trades happen. Yoki, Alu, 1 each. Make it 2. Felchai finds a pick right as the door slammed closed. And now, with this man advantage, will this stop the speed coming in from MLT? No, it won't. Luna, plus like Yamro, immediately just runs straight onto the B side.
Yeah, it's B completely opened up now. But then again, MLT has to watch out for door. Felchai is pushing through it.
One
I've
enemy
never seen that
remaining.
camera placement before. It does give them value. 1 more to go, and it's a very pretty clean round by NEONS to start off. And again, coming back to my question, I did ask you, while NEONS had one of the cleanest runs on this map, why did MLT choose this?
Yeah, I'm really not too sure. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to think about the fact that this is a best of 5, and you're just gonna have to play through whichever map you can get. And sometimes, you know, I think there are more preferred maps were perhaps banned. So that leaves us with, you know, Lotus and everything else. And between Lotus and Ascent, you know, perhaps against Thai teams who are really, really strong at Ascent, Lotus might be the safer pick, and that's why they've gone for it. And MLT, they also have a bit of a track record on Lotus, not the cleanest, but still somewhat good enough, especially when you have the Lulu on the Jet. But right now, she's not being allowed to go in with that space creation because they're getting shut down by these little movements coming out of Felchai and the rest of NEONS.
Those movements are just so clean. Lulu, I want to see her pop some heads, but will be spotted out by the Roomba. Coyote clears it out with the help of her utility. Clean, flawless round. Quack Bunny flawless, if you may.
Okay. Right, but I mean, it comes back down to it, and you watch the replays. Look at how Felchai peeks out. Look at Coyote kind of buying them into this. The guiding light, the paint shells, and everything just explodes in front of MLT. A very different start to what we've been seeing from the past 2 maps, but a welcome one for NEONS.
This might put the right mentality, right mindset, momentum especially, into their hands. Coming to this map, a nice one way, just to really help her through. And Yamroll, not gonna stay around after she saw that cloudburst. Immediately just gonna let her teammates know that there might be a C hit. More shadows just put down. Buys more space and time. Paranoia as well, just to really aid her. And Luwu has no choice but to give up that space. Envious while she does find Yoki. Coyote also has something to say.
Yeah, the timing on that door opened as well. A revolving door just shows and reveals quite a bit, enough for Coyote to walk away with a kill. So back towards even odds. Slightly, okay, I wouldn't say it's a bigger loss because they still have Aphrodite on that Viper. But you're going to have to rethink your options right now. And NEONS, with this Cypher play, again, it's just so much value that she can provide with the tripwires that could counter Lulu and the cams as well. So interestingly enough, MLT, although they push past Pillar, they go through the door again, and they're trying to make it fast in towards C. Guiding Light connects, and Lulu able to find a couple more kills. Luna going in now.
Left. Oh, but with the Spectre, while the first hit looked very sharp by KitKat, can't do more damage than that. Only losing 2 rifles in that round. I pretty much have to say that MLT, perhaps this might be the moment that it might just swing back in their favor. Again, questioning why they chose this map. As you said, might not have maps, but I really want to see what MLT has in terms of preparation and how they want to approach this map.
And again, sometimes it just comes down to their, firepower and adaptations coming through. It's not the most, I want to say, common move to like rush through the revolving door because that it just makes so much sound, right? But if they are fast enough and they're able to catch Yamro off guard that way with just a guiding light, it works. And now they're trying to do something similar, going back into exploring. K a bit of a lurk behind pillars, and now KitKat's being forced away. Despite being the Cypher, despite some traps across, she cannot really stay on the site because it would be kind of risky alone.
Plants it, open, Aphrodite doing what she does best, lurking. Playing these corners, she hears the sound. Will she be able to get the timing? She does get one. No, she does not actually. Envious trades back here. Coyote, will she get another? Plays it very well. Luna plays her teammate and lets the Seekers just run out. Samfire playing this bed very well. Yoki stops her, but will eventually be blinded, deafened by the cabbages. Envious and Lulu bringing another round to the team. Ties up the score.
Lulu, but also Luna. I mean, these girls, they have been popping off. And once more, I mean, you're talking about those cabbages, Tash. They definitely made their impact in this round because just as soon as Neon tries to fight back, almost giving even numbers, they got blinded. And that just made that final fight all that much more difficult. With that, it's now MLT with the momentum, given how NEONS just doesn't quite have the bank to buy up guns in this round.
This time around, very aware. The Marshall is one area not deterred at all by this one-way dash throw by Lulu. You know that she's very, very decisive when she wants to get onto the site. Will be coming through. She challenges the Marshall and nearly takes KitKat down. In fact, she just goes further, takes up so much space. Samfire just pushes up, does get one. Coyote gets that point with the showstopper. She cleans out Aphrodite as well. The numbers not in MLT's favor as Lulu looks to equalize that. Finds KitKat all the way in the back of sight.
Okay, Yoki sends out some cabbages of her own as well. Thrash, unfortunately, not quite able to find too much either, but the mosh pit will be sent out just to clear out the site. So Luna's forced into an open position, and this gives NEONS a little bit more breathing room. I say that, and then you got Lulu and Envious just holding from waterfall and on top of site. MLT, again, sharp shooting prevails.
Indeed, that was indeed sharp shooting. It looked so bad in the beginning for MLT. Look at that round where you saw Coyote was able to get right that one time, that point for that ultimate. She gets 2. And then you start seeing Lulu playing so proactively, taking up space in the back of sight. Immediately, you knew everyone will be coming in from main. Immediately reconvened together, and all eyes were trained onto main. And that was the perfect tie-up for the round.
And that's the thing about MLT. Last time they played this, they've had Lulu on this map before, but she was on a raise, and then that time maybe it wasn't the best performance that they had hoped for. But then she swapped over onto Jet, and suddenly she's top fragging 28 kills. Now this map she's getting a little bit more freedom, getting a little bit more courageous with it as well. Creating a bit of space on C, but ultimately blocked off, and the attacking lockdown nullified. K is making use of this time and space to creep up in towards A. You got the From the Shadows from Envious as well now, so 2 controllers across the A site.
Ooh,
Oh,
Chai.
Hey.
Very nasty in how she navigates these corners. Tiny little micro adjustments, if you may. Spike dropped. Going to be a tall mountain to climb just to get onto the site. They have to break this first, and they do. They're just gonna clear out the corners with those swarm grenades. Emilia Luna just follows through, plays these corners. Flash out doesn't matter. She plays it nice. Micro adjustments, but Chai gets a nice little skewer, as Victoria says yesterday. With an extra one, a cherry on top, if you may.
I don't know if I want to eat skewers with cherries on top of them.
Okay, what about like an onion?
Cherry tomato, maybe. I don't know.
Cherry tomato?
Kebabs. But
Kebabs?
still. Okay, now I'm hungry. There was an incredible quadra kill coming out from Felchai, and you're talking about her movement, and it really just is that good. Because, again, thinking about how the map is laid out, sometimes she positions herself so well across sites. On A, maybe around stairs, but that time it was through drop, and just a tiny bit of a jiggle peek, she finds the first frag and then creates more space off of it. This is what you need. This is how Neons can come back into the game.
The wallbang that. Very thorough on how exactly MLT takes these sites. No corner left unchecked. Yamro playing this corner. She is just so good for it. She is fighting for her life defending this bed. You shall not pass.
Snakebite, though. She definitely is defending this site with her life. You also have Coyote just hovering around with paint shells at the ready if they do sense the push coming through. But instead, it's just going to be the jiggle peek that bites her in the back. Luna a little bit quicker on that trigger. Kay spotting the top of Damroll's head. Yoki tries to watch the angle, but ultimately gets just dropped instead as well. Tash, this is not looking good for Neons all of a sudden.
It really isn't. And all those angles that you saw, those off angles if you play, just micro little angles that you can see. Tiny little pop of the head, perhaps. Gonna send out Dizzy. Millie, you do know there's one in that corner. Gonna send out little bro, but Luna swings out with her teammates. And this is what makes MLT so good. You just have this explosive play that you just don't expect. No one is showing where they are, and then suddenly the initiation happens with the first utility, perhaps by Felchai. And then suddenly all of them are just swinging out from so many different places. It's almost like a whack-a-mole.
A little bit, yeah. And also Neon's starting to feel the heat again. I mean, you know, I was talking about that mental reset from before, and Raph was reinforcing on that idea as well. But you could see that in some moments, despite Yamroll getting the initial frag, for some reason, once they start to feel that, okay, this could be a hit, they start to back off, and that's when they start exposing their backs to MLT, and then a couple more kills go their way. You can't really have that happening, but MLT still just ever so brimming full of confidence. W key into the A site. Felchai tries to fight back, wanting to retrieve a weapon, but gets shut down by Envious. A site is now open.
Destroyed.
Buying time. Straight onto site. Samfire just catching them in the mid-rotate. Unfortunately, she whiffs that. Yoki will be the one to walk away unscathed. Regardless, they have all the information they need. They know where exactly they're going to be hitting from. Coyote gonna retrieve the weapon at the very least. Gives them a little bit of an edge. But do they know that Luna is here? They didn't check. Rumble. And surprise, surprise. 1, 2. Can she go? Yes, she does. 3. In fact, for her. Just because they did not send the Trailblazer to check that side.
Kind of looked like it was just a tiny bit of a whiff for a second. And then she just connects all of them on the line.
Look at that. She's just so
Her
patient.
frag. And the movement as well, just jiggling back and forth. So even if Yamro tried to recenter aim back towards it, just completely thrown off. And that's just smart positioning once again. MLT eSports having that awareness to just hide in these spots at times. Neons is not fully aware.
Would you say that this map is attacker-sided, Quack?
Well, it depends on, you know, the teams and stuff, but I think it definitely could be.
Feels that way
Right
at
now,
times.
it's just proving
got
to
your
be
trail.
attacker side for MLT at least.
Well, at least for this speed, they're just playing so separated. They don't have time to really reconvene. And if they're played too slow, MLT just prepared with that post plant. Too fast, they don't have the numbers advantage. And Luwu, look at her, she just runs up, breaks Dizzy, and then plays through door. This time around, Kit Kat not winning the door fight. The door this time belongs to MLT. And Luwu, full control of the backside as well. Gonna be able to catch this mid rotation. Where are you looking? Still wins it in the end. The little tiny movements just throws off those crosshair placements.
Spike
Working
plant.
out so well on MLT's favor.
Kind of a bit of a distraction as well, though. I mean, Eluwu just going that further in. Now they've created so much space. They're holding up so much space, especially around this breakable door right now.
One enemy remaining.
Choke, if you may, just spray through, and Samfire Luna walk up. No fear, knowing that if one teammate goes down, potential trade is gonna happen. And that's exactly what makes it so good for MLT. You're always seeing this buddy system going around. The only person I see walking up with no teammate is Elu.
Because she's, you know, Jet and she can tailwind, but also just so strong on her own. And that's another thing about MLT too. But I mean, they're just so smart at how they're playing this game. They're dictating the pace, Tash. Because while most teams might go for, you know, like standard site hits and you're just hitting it into A, MLT made the adaptation to use Eluwu to kind of draw them away, keep them at bay on the A site, checking out Heaven, clearing out defender spawn, and then someone does push into Eluwu. Meanwhile, the whole team rotates through breakable door into B, and that's where they stake their claim. That's why they plant the spike. Neons were pinned down and trapped on A. Even if just for an extra second. And that's the thing that gives MLT these big leads. They continue to innovate. They continue to throw multiple things at Neons, forcing them to always adjust. And it just makes them feel so uncomfortable, Tash. And hence the timeout was called. I don't know what they could have adjusted. Maybe if they made a call to push out at some point, given that they have Thresh right now. Maybe not the best guns, maybe in a future round, but it's something that Neons really needs to consider. They need to change something up because it's a 3-6 right now, and what potentially could be the last map of the series. Pushing out into A main though, they're gonna try to fight, but Elu still connects their shots. Envious comes back as well.
Yoki forced to break the door, flash out just for some information. But regardless of losing A main, this is what I wanted to see, that change in pace, more confidence from Neons. Lu made so low, not fully unscathed, but that tap just takes out Envious, and she's gonna go one more time. Lil bro does find one, but Aphrodite inside of the pit, making it her home. Gets out alive! Surprised how she's able to play around that. And she gets away with it. Luna as well finds Kit Kat Aphrodite on one side. They don't know where she is. A flash to come through, and it is just so oppressing when they just go right at you in your face.
And again, it's just a little bit unfortunate. It's a little bit painful to watch for Neon fans out there right now. They were so good. Look at this tap from Felchai. And then Yoki gets another one off cam as well. But then Aphrodite with that sense to push out. That's a strong Viper. That's someone with the clutch gene to know that, you know, I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to just hide inside of this thing. Slipping in and out keeps my opponent on their toes. And with that, MLT, they continue to string these wins. It's 7-3 right now. And we might end the first half again with another crazy lead for MLT.
Maybe once again, making sure to just clear out Rumble gives her so much space. Playing by door, not sure if they actually want to break that, but it's been very good for them. If A doesn't work out immediately, they just break door, just rotate onto B. Yoki finds Luna, and will be playing by door here. Very sharp, tries to go for the head tap. Yes, she does. Yoki
Spike
and
down
Felchai
A.
make it work. And this area, Felchai and Yoki have been
remaining.
really sharp while playing that area, and Kit Kat finally come online, and they take another round, just slowly but surely adding more
Last
rounds to their
round
belt.
in the half.
Yes, a little bit more cognizant, a little bit more steadfast in their aim, especially with Felchai right now, who is the sharpest shooter on this Neon squad, playing around tree, around the revolving door. With that, it's a 4-7, and we might see a glimpse of hope of Neon's making a comeback in the second half. Even if it is a 4-8, I would not count them out. And right now, Thresh has been spent. You've got Coyote, who's building up on the showstopper. Kit Kat, impact not the greatest yet, but it's a strong anchor potential, and now with the neural threat that she could use. So I could see Neons maybe wanting to go aggressive on another aiming push, perhaps, and then maybe using the neural theft to kind of play with MLT for a second. MLT at the same time, though, they could be working towards some ultimates of their own.
You don't want to give this momentum to Neons. 4-7. Neons is a team that, give them an inch, they take a mile. Try to figure out what exactly went wrong in that round. And honestly, that door play seems to have been where exactly everything seems to have fallen down. Regardless, there might be a different way for MLT to play attack. But we all know that MLT, they want to just quickly secure it and just take it home at this point.
That might be the case, but Tash.
Yes, what am I looking at?
Look at Kit Kat.
Where's Kit Kat?
She's got noted.
Oh my god! The best gun in the game. Perhaps what we want to see. Oh, she hears that roar of the gun and Kit Kat saying, "This door belongs to me," but she can't do more than that! And Aluwa will take it away from her! What can you do?
Spike planted.
Pushed back by the Trailblazer, forced into an uncomfortable position, and then players rushing out of door. Now it's going to be time for Felchai to shine, but then the Dizzy gets shut down. Envious taking her out. It's a 2-on-3 Tash. This might be a 4-8.
4-8's not the worst in the world. Envious does get the information that everyone will be playing through door. The smokes are out, and Yoki pushes out. The snake bite gives all that value. 4-8 is exactly what we're getting right now as we hit the halftime. So for now, gonna break it down with Mika and Mochi.
Yeah, I mean, she's gone, and I think she's eating outside. I just gave her food. But anyway,
I don't know where Mochi
guys,
went.
Yeah, she got hungry, so I had to feed her, and Manju was already awake, so they had to do their own little thing. And talking about doing their own thing, I feel like no matter what kind of variety Neons would throw at MLT, they just had an answer. They took a page from the SMG book, go for that 2-on-2 skirmish where both sides would push, try to encompass the opposing team, but then they would lose out on the aim duels. They try to go for a bit of a gamble stack on, I believe, one of the sides. I can't remember which, but again, no matter what they did, MLT just had enough awareness to just say, hey guys, let's kind of reel it back a little bit, reassess the situation. There's still a lot of round to play, and we have a lot of tools at our disposal.
This is incredibly frustrating for Neons, right? Especially since you mentioned it, Raph. There are so many rounds that they were so close to winning. And now with an 8-4 scoreline in favor of MLT, this is looking like it's really positive for MLT. I can almost feel the excitement for these ladies. For Neons, though, there's still a big question mark. Can they make this comeback work? We're going to find out as we step into the second half of Lotus with our casters.
Quite like the rotating doors of Lotus, the second halves can rotate too. I'm just saying.
I mean, we certainly have to hope for that for the Neons fans out there. Otherwise, this would be a 3-0 upper bracket final. I mean, and that just sends MLT straight into Game Changers APAC Elite. And that's what this is all about. Both teams with such huge lineages throughout Game Changers APAC, even before it was called Game Changers APAC.
Exactly.
They've been playing in this scene, and now back together, some on opposite teams, Yoki, Envious, and Kferdite. They're all fighting for that one chance. Only one of them can make it forward. Neons, do they have it in them to turn things around, Tash?
You know the song. Legends never die. Yeah, it's playing in my head right now. Yeah, it's pretty good.
The music company, right? Riot something.
Yeah. From the MOBA game, League of Legends. We don't play with MOBAs here. Anyways, Kferdite gets tagged just now. Quite a lot of HP, but Alumu will be the one with that first contact. followed by Coyote. Honestly, does she know there's someone right behind her? Oh, she did not notice Envious from the shadows coming through. She is quite literally Omen.
Blocks him out the duck cover as well. I mean, so quick, knowing that that's where they might play post plant, but Felchai! What a swing, what a peek! And it's down to Yoki now. She has to keep it alive, but Samphire is still aware of it, and that is just that lingering effect of Envious's post-mortem dark cover. She put it up there, she might have died, but the effect is still there.
Now we go 4-9. If Neons can win this Thrifty, which they have a few times, perhaps it's what exactly they needed. Just really snowball it back in their favor. Because while it looks like a very big lead, it's only a 5-point deficit.
Not too bad, but still wanting to secure as much as possible. Kay, once more, saving up on the Ghost while her teammates go off for Bulldogs and Spectres. They are on defense after all. Oh, and it's big contact with Paranoia. Blinds on all of them, but the Dizzy sent out as well. Felchai trying to keep them alive.
This is very aggressive and it's not stopping. And they punish MLT for pushing out that far. But Envious is there. She tries to make it equalize. Will be taken down on his own. 2 versus 3. Samphire playing inside the shadows, waiting for the right time to just swing out. Playing off sound cues. Aphrodite. All she has in her hands are just that Ghost. Yes, she can tap hits, but she has to make sure that she can isolate these fights to give her a better chance of survival.
Trying to coordinate with Samphire as well. Now peeking together. But now that the side has been cleared, surely they eliminate some of these options. Oh no! Checking the wrong side. Yemro will be able to strike back onto Samphire. And then it's K in a 1-on-3. Only with a Ghost. I don't know if you can activate Clutch Genes this way. Yemro says no. And it's going to be Neons turning things around with a thrifty win.
Tash, prediction on point. But as we go into round number 3, this will be the deficit round for MLT. We did see Envious thinking about getting that Marshall there. Probably changed her mind, opting to save up for rifles instead. But let's see if Luna can tap hits. We are seeing 4 sheriffs on the board with Aphrodite running that shield.
Trying to play off of it, so I mean that's because she saved up from the previous round. But now, Neons having the buy, having a little bit more confidence, going straight into the C site.
Unfortunately,
Alright, there we go.
not happening here, but Bend, full control by Coyote. They got the plant. Thank you, little bro, for your service, as Kit Kat, fully aware flank is coming through. Slowly coming out here, tries to shoot out Dizzy. Thankfully does not get shot in the face, but Kit Kat and Felchai will be defending the area with their lives. Only 2 areas to hold, and now we are down and finally on a full buy for both sides.
Surely enough. But still, I mean, just to highlight again, you have to credit Felchai with how she plays with these. Yes, Coyote was the one with the entry frag, but that Gecko pick is really, really fun to watch, especially now that she has a Thrasher online. You got little bro, Wingman, going in for the spike plants. Dizzy at times, so effective in just blinding her opponents, giving Coyote that extra cover. 6-9 could potentially turn into a 7-9, and maybe even more if they play their cards right.
Coyote has been really huge with the first contact this past few rounds. Thresh, online, will find Envious is the question. She's running for her life, gets away, but going to at least be tagged by the Trailblazer. Luna is there just to provide some cover. Not happening quite yet, no pushes. And that smoke will at least give them a little bit more space, just wriggle onto the site. Felchai, huge, finds Luna. And now Yoki, she wants to swing through.
And just the off angle though. Yoki can go up front, the barrel spotted, but still turning around just in time with a bit of a wallbang headshot onto Envious. 2-on-5 retake, Tash. I do not think we go for this.
You can already see the spam come through by Samphire. The spy dart is not doing her any favors. Slowly she'll make our way, and I don't think Aphrodite can do much in that little corner. Another round in the bag, and Neon slowly claw their way back up. 7-9.
Clean with it. 9, yeah. Slowly making their way back into the game, and it's a very welcome sight. 3 rounds in a row now, maybe even more, considering the fact that MLT will not be able to buy up in this round. We're building up towards more ultimates for Neons, and that's what I'm keeping my eyes on. Yes, Coyote has a showstopper this round, but next round, and maybe even more, you might see Kit Kat with a Neuro Theft, Yoki with the Seekers again, which is just such a useful tool for initiating fights on attack.
I really want to be able to know where exactly to go, because you want to find those weaker sides. And Luo with that orb gives her the blades. Doesn't spot anyone on B main. It looks like it's going to be a door play once again. Neons has been really good with those door plays, and that's exactly how they play. They know how exactly to navigate these very tight corners. Yoki will find another as well. And now MLT left with only 2 players standing. Yamroll not allowing anyone to pass, and Kfredaity's position will be compromised. Tagged up by the camera, by the trip. What is she going to be doing here? Again, round 2. Those are annoying.
I think she's gonna go back towards the door, or if not, I mean, just to try and find exit frags as much as possible, but the door got opened on her instead. And that's something that can happen. Neons, they managed to turn things back even closer now. It's 8-9. And what did I say from before about those ultimates, Tash? Yeah, they're online.
They're online. But you know what's not online? That timeout. 4 rounds in a row already. I'm still waiting for the timeout call. They don't seem to have answers yet for this aggressive style play coming in from Neons. They're just so good at isolating fights and not allowing MLT to play together. You know that MLT relies on their set plays. Coyote once again will be blinded, not able to push forward, and will be hit by little bro. And Lu will take advantage of that, but Luna and her will push out.
Contesting for A again, but right around Rubble, so many bodies dropping thanks to Kit Kat as well as Felchai. Now we're talking about that Gecko impact once more. They're pushing off of it. Yamroll now trading in, and it's gonna be Sandbar tries to hold that down, and she does with just a Vandal and a Dream. She turns things around. It's 8-10. MLT strike back.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. 3 ultimates online, around to bring momentum back in their hands. Bahai's not the cleanest though. Envious with only a Bulldog, and Luna with that Guardian, but we've seen Luna do wonder plays on that gun.
It just keeps on going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Ultimate's still online for both sides though, and this is where things could get very, very hectic. Neon's having built up quite a bit of bank. They'll be continuing forward with this, but also looking to secure and hold on to that momentum, taking things a little bit slow, especially around A main, A Rubble. A lot of teams love to fight for that. And that's why they're just kind of hovering around this that spot for a second. MLT, though, with their positioning is really interesting because they're not really on A site at all. I guess they're actually, in fact, baiting out those ultimates. They want Neons to spend utility just to clear and then cover around the site for a retake setup.
No reaction at all from Neons, but here comes the ultimates chaining one by one. Coyote will pull out the showstopper, and MLT this time opting to play a little bit more back. Let them have the site. Let's play for retakes instead. Felchai going for that plant. Thankfully, Luna didn't walk into the showstopper. The site releases the cabbages just to give them a little bit of space and some info. Here comes the cloud burst as well, just to give them a little bit of free side. But Felchai will be the one to have an advantage in that corner.
And that happened again because of that Dizzy. You hear it in the air. She's chirping away. And now it's going to be MLT struggling to catch up to this because the spike is still kicking off. Felchai, yet another frag. Kfredity coming in with the trades now. Samfire pushing down from drop, but it's just being blocked up by Coyote. The angle's being held. Kfredity trying to fight back, but 5 HP running out of time. Yamroll will swing to shoot her down with a final bullet. Neon's back on board with a 9-10.
Ooh, Neon's showing us why they were undefeated on Lotus during their Swiss stage run. was on the attacker's side that they showed their prowess. 3 ultimates on the board from MLT could be huge. Nice little lockdown to get some space. Kifrodite for that post plant with the Viper's Pit perhaps. But in this situation, when you are at a deficit, do you want to utilize those ultimates or will you wait during a rifle buy?
You really have to think about it, and they might just save it for a rainy day because scoreline being this close right now, and with the current guns that they have, unless there's a clear advantage that will secure them the win, there's no real reason to commit ultimates just yet. And just getting pinged up though, has to try to make it away, but just the wall bangs makes her uncomfortable.
Camera, just to give a little bit of info, Luna walks up, gets the hit, and immediately walks back out. Mission accomplished. Do not have to lose her life with that. We're starting to see this thrifty rounds play out. More aggressive than ever.
Still though, NEONS making their way into C now. And that's a free spike plant. Not the best weapons to retake with, but clearly they want to retrieve some of them, just not quite able to find safe timing just yet. Also still considering that, going through the door, you've got Kit Kat hiding up around Mound. Just have to be quick with the reactions.
Oh, this time around, she opens the door, but she moves back. She is not going to challenge that area at all. Coyote trying to make sure that no one's actually pushing in from CT. But Coyote will be the one to take a full advantage of that corner. But this time around, Kfrodite wins the door battle. But there is the war. Coyote gets one more, and so does Yammerl. And finally, the score equalizes, tied up 10-10.
It's just incredibly smart plays from NEONS again, of course, using their advantage with the firepower and walking into a free and open C site. MLT though, now they get to buy up. Now they want to make this round count, because if they can start to cement their momentum again, that's where things would turn around for them. They've got those 3 ultimates. They've been waiting to make use of them. On the other side though, again, Kit Kat's looking good with her ultimate now pretty soon. Felchai as well, and she has still been popping off.
They haven't really found a clean answer yet for how exactly NEONS take sight. If they play too passive, NEONS just doesn't give them an area or an inch to even get onto the site to play retake without them getting smashed one by one. They play aggressively, they get punished. So what exactly can they do here? I'm really hoping that their coach, or at least their teammates, are able to find the answer.
I could see another A-Rebel play.
The area bull play has been pretty good, honestly. Just having Elu go aggressive there with some support fire from Long sounds like something that's quite viable.
Oh, it's just gonna be a bloodbath.
Honestly, yeah, I can see the pings on A side.
Shadows traveling.
Okay. Paranoia, and MLT takes quick control over it. It's been smoked off as well, so that discourages NEONS from pushing through. They're just gonna wait for it to dissipate.
Can't take the time by Luwu already establishing full control of rubble area. Her teammates are there to provide cover fire. Another smoke used. And with C completely smoked out by the pit, that leaves the B site.
Thrash is ready.
They use B.
Change their
There
minds.
is a turret. But again, impressive map control by MLT right now. A is still being controlled. Elu perched on top. They'll have to spend a bit of utility and time to clear that out. Meanwhile, the Viper's Pit on C, right?
Oh yeah.
I might actually prefer if the Thrash went towards C, but they decided to hit on towards A. And Elu is just ignoring this Thrash. She's waiting for the right time to peek out and shoot, but Yamro takes her down instead.
That flash just completely disables her. Her teammates weren't able to help her at all because of those smokes.
30
Nice little
seconds
one-way
left.
on door. This time around, they can't be playing this area. But nice rotation now. Making sure the strong side will be the A. Just leaving Kfrodite to our own devices on C. Just in case anyone were to rotate through. Luna playing this off angle. just turns away from that flash. Nice little cross. She spots the gun barrels, and immediately she and her teammates just clean house 2 out of the way. And now the numbers game in their hands. Yamroll finds Luna. Yamroll finds one more, and Yamroll has been playing it big. Can she do it again? It's the question. Keferdite all alone. This corner, she clears. 1 versus 2. We've seen Keferdite win these, but with no information, they know exactly where she is. Wall dropped. And Kit Kat just finding the right way, the right angle. Little bit of an angle. Relayed the information to her teammate, giving Yamroll a 4 pick for this particular round, and NEONS take the lead.
Yeah, an incredible round 1 by Yamroll. We look at how she leapfrogs and plays off of her teammates. Yes, Coyote might have been the first one to go in through Rabble, but Yamroll looking upwards to eliminate Aluu, and then following up in towards Tree, playing around the site, eliminating, you know, so many of these players that we've previously seen pop off before, but now they're a little bit more quiet in the second half. 11 to 10. NEONS might just be able to keep their dream alive, considering the fact that MLT, they don't have much in the bank for this round.
Coyote will be moving through with the utility. You have the Trailblazer and Dizzy at the same time, just to fully make sure they can take control of this entire area of rubble. Now, still, another tall hill to climb is whether or not they want to cross this boundary toward A site. No movement yet from MLT this time. Still on a gun deficit. They do get that orb, gives her that showstopper. We have seen some insane movement from her when it comes to using that ultimate.
There it is. There's one of them. NEONS just kind of respecting it, making an adaptation towards the B site instead. Dizzy goes into clear, and Coyote pulls out the showstopper. MLT has no choice but to respect it and hang back for a second. Showstopper's gonna expire soon though, and that's where they will strike. Oh, Coyote lets it rip.
So unfortunate that smoke just went down. Sapphire, beautiful head tap onto Coyote, but can she do more is the question. Last person left alive with only a sheriff in hand. We've seen some miracle plays here, but you start to think, don't have any information, have no clue where to look. Crossfire set up for her. Gets tagged up from the camera. That's exactly what they need. And she gets taken out. And that is match point for NEONS.
Here it is. One more round. It's overtime or bust for MLT, but one more round and NEONS pushes us into map 4. Keeping that dream alive. They've been doing such a good job, and this truly is such a good map for them. Look at their record in the second half. 4 rounds in a row, twice. And MLT is still just struggling to try to find a semblance of control for defense. They kind of almost had it when they had the Viper's Pit up on C and everything else, but now slowly losing grip again. Back towards C, and we only have Sapphire here. The rest of them just allowed to walk in, and here goes little bro, go for that spike plant.
Yeah, he's been doing stellar job this round. Coyote, again, Bend is her playground. It's been a hella tough run to try to clear her out of the corner. Sapphire is waiting patiently for her teammates, will have to wait behind. Dizzy tags her. Sapphire does still make it work. Yamroll will be the one taken down, but Yoki and Coyote will answer back. They're getting picks on picks here. Envious, can she clutch this? A little bit too hard. She gets one already in the back. Hides, just waiting for that recovery of that flash. Quick cross coming in from 2 different sides. She gets one more. Can she get one? Kit Kat playing so far behind. She's so low. She gets it. No time. Didn't teleport on top. And she is over for her. We are gonna be going to a map 4.
Such an incredible win. Look at the NEONS players kind of almost heaving a sigh of relief. Envious with those kills. But then the final shrouded step, just a little bit shy of the ledge. Unlucky, but still good kills nonetheless.
It really was. Brings me back to map 2, where it was the other team that got the ace. but didn't get the win. But now with a 1 point in the bag, could this be the reverse sweep that NEONS has been looking for? NEONS just showing us that they do not want to back down without a fight. They too deserve to have that spot into Elite. But for now, we're gonna let Mika and Mochi do the breakdown. Sorry, I love you, Raph. On to you guys.
I'm expecting
don't
to
have
see
to lie.
Mochi here.
Yeah.
And she's not here. She's not here. I guess she decided to, she decided to walk out after that TP. How frustrating was that? I could almost hear the comms in that moment. That after the TP, no, and then try and TP again. But yes, it appears as though NEONS. We were talking about that slow start that they usually have. Could this be it? Could they have just extended that just because this is a best of 5? Potentially, because now in NEONS, this is the NEONS that we were looking for at the end, or at maybe during map 2, or even at the end of map 1.
Again, there was just so many ways where MLT could have closed this out, but that was always the question, right? This is not a sprint. Yes, you've already gotten the 2-0, but that is still not the finish line. NEONS, I'm so happy that they're keeping their composure and they're really keeping themselves together here. Even saw a little bit of their body language just right after that map when they're like, okay guys, we still have 2 more wins to go. Let's keep it calm. Let's keep it going. But I would like to point out what happened in round 21. I really love the patience. And as soon as they saw that second Omen smoke, I feel like that was just a bit of an oh no moment for MLT because, again, I said this before, it just seemed like MLT did not want to guess anymore. You saw Elu kind of try to be proactive and cut off the proverbial head of the snake. But after that, they just kind of suffered a low buy and everything kind of snowballed. If NEONS keep this utility pressure up, then maybe, just maybe, MLT is going to be put in a position where, again, it might be difficult to come back.
There were so many moments where an MLT almost, had it. In terms of, I guess, the conversion where they do have the numbers disadvantage, but they are able to pull in, a higher chance of winning the rounds. I would give that to MLT. However, NEONS here, I think the Gecko was indeed that X factor we were looking for. It was, it was frustrating to say the least, especially since, on the side of MLT, after a while they started losing steam, and when NEONS saw that they were able to push back, they didn't let that go. They just decided, you know what? Okay, we're gonna keep on pushing, and that momentum that we were talking about, that momentum that I was expecting, that was it. That was that, steamrolly kind of style that they do.
Oh yeah, and again, I'm glad that they stayed true to their guns, but there were definitely some moments where it was a nail biter, especially that last exchange. You talked about it, double teleport. It's just like, oh, okay, it's all good, guys. We're fine. But another thing just to put, and I guess make people aware that playing ahead is also a very, very invaluable skill. I think we kind of forget that MLT is super new as a roster in their infancy, and they're already doing so much damage to a bunch of veterans like NEONS. But also the thing that I will say is they also kind of have to keep it together. Again, they only need 1 map. And I hope that they don't put that type of extra pressure on themselves. Just like, guys, we're about to win. Just don't rush things. Keep calm and just let the series kind of pan out.
Yeah, I think both of these squads need to keep calm, right? Because especially since we have this is gonna be very, very important. The winner of the series does indeed go to Raph, whipped out his wingman, so I'm gonna whip mine out also to hear Little Bro, who did so well, by the way, in that series, doing all this fight
actually.
This winner of this series does have that guaranteed slot to Elite. So there's a lot on the line. We can already feel the nerves and the adrenaline coming from both of these teams as the rounds go closer and closer and closer. So I think that, that energy that we were looking for NEONS, it's definitely here. And that pushback for MLT is also here. So you do not want to miss this next pack coming, because we're going to Ascent here, and both teams have a 100% win percentage on the Ascent so far. So we know that they are definitely going to be on top of everything. So I want to see both teams at their prime. We're going to see that right after this very quick break.
wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
is map number 4 now as Neons decides to extend their life just a little bit more here in the upper bracket. It's getting pretty dicey, especially as we're seeing these teams really do are bringing out this. Yes. What is it?
You left your wingman on my side of the world.
Gimme.
Yeah, there.
Gimme.
Yep. There it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I
Hey.
thought it was gonna go around the world, you know, so reaching for the opposite corner, but here we are.
I was
Here we
not.
are.
Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that
Nobody
happen.
saw
We actually passed it to each other. Believe it. Believe in the magic. Believe in the magic that this little bro can do, because he certainly did that on Lotus for the side of Neons. Especially since
thanks.
we did see the gecko. Oh, go ahead. Take it. I don't know if I passed it properly.
I saw you pass it back.
You're making me doubt myself. I was just carrying him around.
No, I mean, like, I didn't make you doubt themselves, but certainly MLT might just be feeling a little bit of that, considering that strong return and reply from Neons. And you talked about it, right? Again, MLT, incredibly powerful, incredibly quick, but Neons, very sturdy and very just... I guess, like, the endurance for this is insane. We are gonna go for another map that will probably test the patience of not only the players here, but the patience of our desk. And I can already tell what potential comp Ascent is gonna bring. But another thing to take note is that MLT's Ascent has been incredibly explosive.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to see the typical comp that we're seeing here on Ascent, but my eyes are actually on, the veterans here, Yoki and K4Dike, especially since we're in a best of 5. That ability to really sustain the team, to make sure that they are consistent, especially as we're entering a map 4. These teams are used to playing best of 3s here. We need that sort of experience and that tenure, so to say, to really push these teams to do their very best all the way up to a potential map 5 here. And I can already feel that map 4 is probably going to be a long one, given how close Lotus was, right? We nearly got an overtime, very nearly. It was down to seconds, and I think that Ascent will probably be the same unless one of these teams loses that endurance.
I mean, this is definitely the statement map for both these teams, right? Obviously, if MLT take it, it's theirs, it's their spot at Elite, and a claim that they will probably forever remember. Whereas on the side of Neons, if they take this map, that is what's gonna supercharge their willingness to compete and to keep it going, to really go the full distance. And what do you know? This comp again, of course.
I'm so surprised, Raph. I didn't see this coming.
It is what it is.
What more can we expect here on Ascent?
That's true. I mean, we saw a little bit of Astra on Ascent. At the same time, yes, we're going to have a mirror comp. Yes, this is probably the most tried and tested, the most stable comp we're going to have. But it really will expose how different the approach is for these teams. And I feel like Neons has been leaning towards that utility shuffle to kind of win the fight before it even starts, especially in the latter rounds of Lotus. If they do that and maybe potentially push MLT to impatience, maybe MLT is going to be in trouble.
It's that teamwork, right? For these two teams that are relatively new, that are, haven't exactly played the entire year together. It's going to test how well they can band together at this last moment, right? This isn't exactly do or die because this is the upper bracket, but this is so important because you have that guaranteed slot into Elite already. So, let's find out who takes Ascent. Throw it on over to our casters.
Wonderwall?
Yeah, sure.
No, you don't remember Wonderwall. We remember his Ascent.
Okay, that's where she was going with that.
How many Ascents are we gonna be seeing? But perhaps this Ascent might change the course of time. Again, stakes super high for both these teams, but not the end of the road for the winner.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. It's like kind of what Raph was talking about. I mean, yes, we see this map really often, especially in Game Changers APAC, but also with the fact that how these teams are just so familiar with it. This is that optimal composition. And if you actually take a look at both teams' match histories, it's 100% win rate for both teams. They both played it 4 times in their careers, both won all 4 times. One slight difference is that maybe NEONS has that 100% attacking round win rate so far. That might change after today. We don't know. Like what Raph was saying, it comes down to that it's a lot of mind games, Tash. And if MLT gets a little bit impatient, they start pushing out on defense or something, or something goes wrong somewhere, and you start communicating a little bit less. That's where we might see the slip up, and that's where we might see a map 5.
100% on attack side. That is interesting, given the fact at how defense-sided this map can be. Now, reminding everyone that each part of this map is a puzzle piece. It's all about getting control of an area to allow you access into the site. If Elu can go aggressive, you know what? That's not gonna happen right now, as the aggression is coming over from NEONS. Beautiful setup coming to the even clear line. Aluwu coming on the site does sustain a bit of damage from the util. Unfortunately, will be flashed out, and Coyote not stopping quite yet alongside Yamroll. And Yam is definitely on a roll with her teammates.
Dude, NEONS are like just laughing right now. They're like, this is our map. They're just strolling in, taking the site, kicking butt, taking names. Kipradati, it's a 1-on-4. We've seen her clutch before, but this is a whole different beast. And now with her turret down slightly further back, she can't really redeploy it. So has to rely on nothing but her skills right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Look at 4 people watching her way. Elchai clears it. Nice uppercut. Raph, I'm sure he loves this
I
game.
hate to say it, but
Yeah, a little nice little like short you can. But yeah, I mean, I gotta explain a little bit. Yes, this was an incredible pistol round coming out from NEONS, and we saw Felchai, and we've seen how incredible she can be. Having that same impact again, Coyote of course entering. The reason why they have 100% win rate on attack is because they have such a strong defensive side as well. They often end first halves in 8-4, 7-5s, occasionally a 10-2. And then from there, they just close out the attacking side without dropping a single round. That's how good NEONS are on Ascent.
The shorty activated. Can play off that turret, but Yamroll does spot out K490 almost immediately. He's sustaining a little bit of damage from Boathouse here. Luna will tap some hits. Yes, she does. One more. Can she go for it? One bullet in the barrel. Gonna be a little bit hard. Gonna have to reposition. Not quite gonna get that time. With 1 HP left, it's going to be very hard. A lot of damage put onto the other members of MLT. And once again, we're in the situation where it's a 1 versus the world. Samfire with only a sheriff.
We kind of whiz this past her too. They know that she's hiding in there because it's not pinging anyone on the other side, so they just spray through, and KitKat manages to find her. 2-0. And that's going to be a little bit painful, but K does buy up an Odin for the next round. Of course, you are doing that on the defensive side. But that's it. I mean, really a lot more confident is what you're seeing from NEONS.
Look good after that comeback round. The momentum that they got over on Lotus, perhaps still riding that wave. It's up to MLT to figure out how exactly to break that confidence. But perhaps they'll be able to do that. Maybe with the Odin. Let's see how this plays out. And this time around, they're opting to come through Catwalk and straight to 3. But they do have 2 people holding on the fragment just to buy some time.
Just thinking about dashing past it. Flashes through now. And that's just Samfire trying to keep NEONS at bay. She uses her Cloud Burst to kind of stick around the site, but here comes MLT, Luwu, from the site, able to shoot them down with her rifles, and that's all they were waiting for. A bit more firepower, a little bit more comfortable with it, and they will gun down NEONS as they try to push in.
That means the 100% win rate on attack has been dwindled down?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it has.
I'm a little bit sad, not gonna lie, but all good things come to an end, no? Still haven't seen that Odin on Kefrodite action come through. But again, we were talking about getting the momentum back into MLT's hands. Perhaps this can be it. Now both teams on even ground. Look at that lineup coming in from Samfire. Perhaps it will get the value that they need. Smoked off, Catwalk, a knife gets destroyed. Precious info gonna be taken, and immediately Coyote again W key straight into market. No resistance found there.
But the noise was heard,
Deploying
and that's why
drone.
you see Samfire kind of rotating around now. This creates a little bit of a gap because it pulls people away towards market, towards mid, and hence NEONS has a bit more space to actually sneak through a short right now. That was the whole game plan. That's why they made that noise. If they can push past this, it could be good, but they have to do it quick because otherwise Samfire runs back towards short to watch it. However,
What's going to be?
just making a little bit more noise, buying more time, they're going towards B-Tash, you're right.
But look at Kefrodite. Prep done, ready. Just to really send out a hail of bullets. Also, Coyote did not get spotted out by that knife. And Kefrodite ready. Pre-fire, pre-aim coming through here. Flash to come out. Coyote will quickly notice one Sova going down, coming in from both sides here. Kefrodite does get the wonder wall bang through that. Zenvious waiting for the right moment with Aluwu. Reconvening. Nice little blind out to help her teammate Yoki on one end, and will smoke out KitKat, 10 HP. Will go for that backstab. Yes, she does. Coyote finds 1 and 2, cleans the round.
Incredible. And it just starts with the way that they even pushed in. Like you were talking about it, we're lauding Kefrodite and her Odin from the previous map. But right here, starting things off with Coyote's dash, the recon that was sent out by Luna from before, it didn't really catch on to anyone. And that's just NEONS really knowing how to play around this map. They're so experienced on it that they completely evade some of these counter utilities that were deployed to catch NEONS as they pushed in. So this really turns things around, and now they have that momentum. They're just gonna rush into A.
Again, WT Gaming is the name of the game here, but NLT will be flashed out. Aluwu has no choice but to back out of the way, but Envious was there just to send the taps. Regardless, big pick, Coyote. Now, the other members of NEONS not able to excite. Aluwu a little bit low here, but it doesn't deter her from crossing and gets herself a nice little upgrade, and immediately they beeline for the B site. Get it? Beeline for B site?
Wow, nice. That's actually really nice. Still though, Bs can only bust for so long. Without their stingers, Envious is just not going to be that effective. NEONS with the firepower will continue to power through. They're looking for some heads. They've spotted out Kefrodite, and there she is. Back into the A site we go.
Just so good. Like, NEONS are just so flexible with where exactly they want to hit a site. Luna, a nice head tap will be answered back by KitKat. Now, Samfire will be playing for Haven. That
Enemy remaining.
knife is enough to get the info, but not enough for those kills. Aluwu does have a gun, 1 HP. Can she sell the dream? Is the question. Bring it on Rosie. And in this situation, no, she can't.
Alright, I did.
Yeah, they already knew where she was approaching from, so it's easy for KitKat to just peek out and get that final shot as well. So with that, I mean, 4 rounds won now, but also the fact that NEONS is working up those ultimates. They're keeping up onto 4 of them. Meanwhile, MLT's defensive side, you know, we always talk about this, right? It's supposed to be a defense-sided map. We've tried the Odin. We're back on an Ares now. We've got Aluwu on an Operator. Can MLT come back into the game?
Still waiting for that to happen. NEONS now with so many ultimates in their arsenal, they can chain this up and make it a flawless round. And in fact, even without ultimates, they've been having some really clean rounds, really good use of the ultimates. And in fact, they're just so quick on their toes. They hit the site running, and they don't leave a single moment for MLT to even recollect their thoughts. Now, Catwalk fully smoked out, but Aluwu was playing in this corner, and Pizza catches them off guard. Can she do it again? Is the question. Surprise, surprise! No, she can't. A spray through smokes keeps her alive a little bit longer. Onto the side, and the Ares is what comes out from the backside.
Wow, look at that teamwork. Kay's just bailing out her teammate now. NEONS knows we can't really go through mid any longer. 50 seconds left, and they make a quick move towards A, but now it's being smoked off by Envious. Great map control from MLT. Let's see if NEONS can push through.
Yes, wait for a chance to set it up for her teammates. Thankfully, no. Take that back.
30 seconds
Fights
left.
her as she's about to
Spike
just
down A.
peek out
Last
once again.
player
We
standing.
will try and go for that plant. Luna does fight KitKat. Hears her out here. Little try. Can you go for this? Gets one. A jump down. She tries for two. A lot of damage though, but enough for MLT to take it back.
I kind of like it still. Good headshots all across. But that said, I mean, this round was just an incredibly well put up map controlled defense coming out from MLT. And I was talking about it. It's that operator from Lulu. Tailwinds away. K4ID helping her out with an Ares of all things. And then onto site. You know, they were already aware that that NEONS were about to hit the site, and they just completely blocked it off. So moving into the next round now, well, you might think that that is a great play. You've got 5 ultimates still online for a NEONS. And it's something that MLT really has to consider. How do they work around it? If it's a lockdown, a hunch tree from Luna might come out, but everyone else, it's a little bit tricky. And this operator, it's gonna have to sing.
It's huge. It does sing, but not the right target that she wants to take out. The cat does go for the revive that gave her Diana. Look at the firepower coming in from CT. So oppressive. No answer of ultimates quite yet from
Scanning
MLT.
ahead.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to use him. I mean, there was that null command. Coyote, I think, used her Blade Storm as well. But everything else was stopped in their tracks because of these 2 most expensive guns in MLT's arsenal. They still have their own ultimates as well, though. K490 can save this lockdown for a retake scenario if necessary, but right now it's just dependent on what NEONS wants to pull off. And because there isn't any information towards mid, Envious is calling that the hit is definitely going in towards B. Elwood checks towards logs, nobody's there, so they might consider the fact that they've pushed in towards site, hence the front shadow from Envious. They want to sandwich them in.
Oh, the off comes through. K490 with the fire. KitKat tries to save the day. But we all know Samfire can be good here. Seemingly, just get on site. Easily done. They go for the defuse. Guns too, actually.
Yeah, turn things around. Still holding on to the operator and the Odin. 2 weapons which are found to be really effective, especially since MLT are using it to block off the B site. And that's the best thing about the operator on this map, especially when you put it on a jet like Lulu. She can play so many different positions. Right now she's on B. Previously she was mid. She could even switch things up and go over onto A short now. And they're starting to find a little bit of that momentum. NEONS, they're gonna have to figure out a game plan to kind of disable this operator before really committing to a site, or just completely evade it and go to the other part of the map.
You know what's really shocking? The way that NEONS actually committed 3 ultimates that round to secure it, and that round where they used the ultimates was the round that they dropped. Honestly, I would say commendable, because they just waited for them to get onto site, and then they fully committed that that lockdown. But then you see that, I would say, that speed coming through from MLT that we saw on the previous first and second map, and then it's like, okay, that speed is exactly what we need to see on MLT.
Yeah, I mean, it's those guns, right? Odin, operator, 2 O's.
Flashy,
Pretty nice.
expensive, and deadly.
Here it is.
Just like
Time out
Quack.
again. No. All right, NEONS, they've got a Hunter's Fury right now. I think they're gonna save it for K4Daddy's lockdown. But yeah, again, it comes back to the main thing, is that how do you work around Elulu and her operator? So they might try to suss out information first. Interesting. Really deep dark cover in towards market. Oh my god!
Ooh, how does she get away with that straight up murder? Whew, these two Jets have been, honestly, these two duelists has just been blowing my mind the last few games.
Dude, if you're a Coyote right now, like the round just started, you're just about to make a move, and suddenly you're dead. I'm just like, what the heck, man?
I'm going to bed, guys.
3-4. Slowly pushing up A main now. Odin's right here.
Sounds like they need it, actually. Flash at a full commit. Recon immediately taken out of the way. The knife doesn't get to go through. Presence detected and immediately came for Drydy. Just let her rip. So much control of that space. No utility use. Don't worry. I got you. I got the Odin. Yoki already on the site. But it's going Felchai. Yoki, wow! They just take out the entirety of the team that's holding down the site. And now, full control of the area. Luwu playing retake with an op. Mission impossible, honestly.
I might even save. I hate to say it, but that play was a mistake from MLT. They overcooked the defense.
Scanning ahead.
Just for a second, because Luwu is still kind of held up around heaven. I think she's just looking for some exits right now. Neons were just incredibly smart with it, because they knew, first of all, tossing the fragment to check out Wine. Nobody was there, but it was a signal to MLT that, hey, I am here at A main. You want to block me off. And that's exactly what MLT did. You've got Envious with her dark cover. Kay was already tossing out nano swarms, and then Envious even sent out a paranoia. It kept Neons at A main for a second longer, but Kay started firing off with that Odin and tossing even more nano swarms. Because of all of that firepower being thrown down this one choke point, it takes them a second to reload. It takes them a second to recover and reposition themselves to get ready for the next hit. And through that tiny little gap, Neons rolled in like a death squad, instantly figuring out where Kay was hiding, where Envious was hiding. One by one, they dropped, and that's how Neons captured the A site away from MLT.
Honestly, that one moment of opportunity was just so good. Kfredite is still gonna be running that Odin. She doesn't want to let it go, but we haven't seen Luwu or Kfredite actually use those utilities for a retake. A retake might be the answer, perhaps, because we're seeing MLT go more toward denying the site altogether, but before anything, they would have already been done and out of sight.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult because you can't really retake with an operator as well, but then also if you go too aggressive, you're gonna lose players in the process, and that's why anchoring down the site is an art that MLT really needs to master right now. They're trying to do that though, so I like how Luwu is kind of stationed up towards B. She's getting information that, well, B is relatively clear. You guys want to prepare closer towards A. And you can see that Luna's kind of thinking about it. Samfire as well. But K is the only one here for the time being. They swapped up positions though, and I like that Envious is holding the off angle towards door.
Yeah, and this time around, they're not playing a little bit too aggressive. You notice that Wine was coming with knife instead, and because of the lack of info. Running straight toward mid-side.
Wait, she canceled it.
What is going on? Well, anyways, you can see Envious already good for 2, will be taken out, but it is enough damage already. And Luwu, understanding that, immediately rushes forward. Kit Kat here for the answer. Tries to go for one more. Kit Kat does get one. Gonna get stopped by Samfire. It's only 3 seconds to go. They are running out of time. And now the idea for Yamroll is perhaps a save might be key. Because financial-wise, they're not gonna have a gun in the next round. Excuse me.
Did she hit the wrong button? I'm not sure. It really looked like they were about to rotate over onto B, right? And they actually did, but then the spike just wasn't quite delivered over. So with that, MLT manages to steal a round away. Sometimes this happens, Tash, because you know how players tilt their keyboards at an angle just to save desk space? I've heard before that like they might accidentally hit the alt button when they mean to, like, you know, they're resting their thumb on the space bar.
Oh, I press the Windows key all the time.
Oh. It's definitely a little bit confusing in that moment, but whatever it is, I'm sure Neons can recover just as quick. They've managed to build up quite a bit of bank, so they're going to be able to buy up again. But once more, MLT, just this crazy map control. Elu not using the operator this time around, so she's going for blades. And this could be a tiny bit of a gap for Neons to push through.
Nice one way though. Just enough for them to play off this, wait it out. And we know that Neons is kind of similar to MLT, where they're okay with just wasting some time, taking time to just fully take out the utility, but both teams are committing to some utility, at least for this tree area. The one to take this site will be Neons, and Coyote, no fear! And Aphrodite just swings out, takes her out, and Lu does go down, but Envious is there for the double frag, gets in before the door closes, and they do have full control of Spike.
Kit Kat. Big flank. Might be able to sneak up behind them, but can you truly land shots on all of them before they suss out your position?
Imagine if
this is a Metal Gear Solid moment right now.
Oh, no. Not against Aphrodite and her Wonderwall banging Odin.
Remember, your weapon is
Imagine if the Odin made a song. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. Every time you shoot it.
One enemy remaining.
What?
It's been a long day, Quack!
Alright, 5-5. With that win, MLT has crumpled Neons' economy. And now we see the operator back on Elu, putting up that strong defense again. We're standing at an even score line, and whoever breaks that mold, whoever comes up huge on this, might just be able to turn things around. But it also could be a 6-6. Let's see what happens.
6-6 might just be the key here, but Samfire looks so strong, but unfortunately Lua will whip that! Samfire is there for the cover fire at the very least. Now, Samfire on site will be using the knife just to really get the suppression. Not allowing them to use their util might be key here. Luna playing these angles very carefully, letting them walk into her crosshair.
Wow.
Well, Luna goes down. Samfire ends the round with a 3.
Last round before the
Still,
switch.
these weapons, Tash, double O's, Odin Operator, they're still online, and they have been for the longest time. We've got Neons now back alive with the full buys. They've got some ultimates to work with now, and let's see how they make it work. I mean, despite that loss, you still gotta keep admiring how sharp Felchai is at times. 13 kills and 6 stats as an initiator right now. Meanwhile, for MLT, it's a lot more teamwork based.
Yeah, they rely on set plays, they rely on teamwork, and Envious will be the one to be paranoid out. Beautifully set up for Elu to just take Coyote out of the way. Yes, it is. And on top of that, her teammate does get picked off there by the recon. And they just like that, they said, okay, I think we should go rotate.
Yeah, you have to rotate, but guess what? You rotate to the other side of B, K is waiting there with a second operator. Are you kidding me?
No way. This is painful. You're expecting to see an Odin and you just get one shot. You're like, wait, that is not an Odin. Now, I think they are suspecting that they are here. Timing is out. Hull drone first. They do hear the roar of that Odin. Now hesitation sets in. They are going to try disabling with that null command. Comes through Yamrul, finds Sapphire, perfectly done. But Aphrodite is not done cooking. She is spraying so hard, and no one can fight her. She even tanks the utility.
Okay, where's Sage? This Shiza.
And she gets the final kill as well, Tash. You see how she sprays with that thing, swinging her mouse from left to right.
Oh my god! If that is not a ballsy play, I don't know what to say, because if it were me and I see that utility, I would stop shooting, but she didn't. That was just full trust in knowing that she can take the round.
And that's just how this ends in a 7-5 first half. Mika and Raf, I just can't believe that this happens with these two guns. What say you guys?
You know what? In my life, I hope to be as brave one day as Aphrodite, tanking the damage from the swamp grenades, holding down an Odin. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be that brave, Raph.
I like how it's very D&D the way Quack passes. What say you in this matter, fine bard and fine sorceress of the land? But anyway, guys, to kind of refocus our lens here, all those rounds that MLT lost is honestly super opposite of what we saw on Fracture, where they were ready to fight as a five-person unit and just to be ready to take the brunt when they hit the site. You saw a lot of hesitation and just kind of avoid the fight with the spam and all, but again, they're recovering very well, and they're recovering in a very, very, I guess, aggressive manner.
It's still neck and neck, right? It could be anybody's game at this point. So let's pass it on back to our casters. Here's Wonderwall.
So after all, ticket Quack.
I don't know the song.
Quack doesn't know Wonderwall?
As in, I've heard the song, I just don't know the lyrics. I've been exposed. I'm getting canceled now. I know the so maybe part of the maybe, that's about it.
Anyway.
I'm getting roasted already.
Getting into the second half, round 13, MLT probably with a better mental in this particular round after they took quite a lot of rounds away from NEONS, and MLT this time around showing us how they decide to play WP Gaming. Actually threw a Luwu, no fear, no pain, even sending a little bit of a spray just to mark her territory.
Spike planted.
Just making sure that they'll secure the site properly. NEONS though setting up for the retake. Look at the shock darts coming through.
Man, it does displace Keferdite, and Velchai will be there for the opener, fight the Lulu Luna as well. But these trades are just all over the place. And now we're down to a 1 versus 2. Yam roll, can you make something happen here? She tries to go for the tap. No reaction quite yet. Envious from behind! But no Tondo today.
Yeah, we're holding on to classics. It's just good positioning again from MLT, I suppose. I mean, you could see how NEONS set up for some of these retake maneuvers, but then neglecting to check the other side of Hell. I guess that's where Envious was hiding. You could think of these shock darts and like fragments as, you know, quite literally like grenades, offensive pieces of utility, and they're using that to clear out certain spots on the site. But MLT weren't even hiding in those common positions, and that's why they were able to sneak up behind.
Perhaps another thrifty round 2 is what we might see. But this time around, a little bit more back they're holding. Does spot out one. Ooh, aggression comes through, finds Kit Kat. Thank you very much. You are now out of the way. Felchai not moving at all, but because of that, I think it does displace her positioning. And now both teams already losing 1 on each side will decide to just cut the noise.
MLT is kind of thinking if anyone does continue to push out, they'll be able to shoot them down. But apart from that, I mean, the spike was already being delivered over onto the A site, so they will be able to get the spike plant for free. And actually, there's a lot of time for them to go even further and play a lot differently as well. I mean, K is already setting up nano swarms on towards Heaven, maybe one on the spike. And it's just making sure that NEONS doesn't make their way onto site safely. They're going to have to take a little bit more time to set up before going in for a retake.
These lineups, in hell, they just tried to waterfall down, but they waterfalled straight into their crosshairs. What a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
Regardless.
falling into their demise. Damn.
Yeah, a waterfall of death.
And that's MLT getting that forward momentum now. Tash, it's 9-5. And although, you know, it's the full buy this time for Neon, and that's where we might start to see things turn around, you gotta admit that the duel between the Sovas right now, Luna's starting to pop off as well.
It's honestly so fun when you see not duelist duels, but yeah.
There's something against duelists?
We'll talk about us off stream, Quack. Meet me in front of your local 7-Eleven. But anyways, coming to this game, no a W key this time as the smokes come through. Recon not catching out anyone quite yet. Nice little outburst just to give her a little bit of a reposition. Aluwu looking looking to see if anyone might reaggressor. Not happening quite yet, but Felchai this time, you know that she has been coming up very, very strong as an anchor. Not saying the word sentinel here, but she does get smoked off. Does she push forward is the question. Aphrodite just trying to see if she can catch anyone in that mid rotate. Felchai makes her way straight to market. Good for two, finds the spike, but Envious and Aphrodite tries to make it work. But the gun deficit, a little bit too much here. Aluwu does have a little bit of an upgrade to that Phantom, but not quite finding the rest of Neons.
Yeah, the spike is down, and Neons are just planning to
30
play
seconds
together as a duo. As soon as they hear a tap, as soon as the spike goes down, that's when they start to make their move. Aluwu does not have that much else to work with. It's just pure guns and maybe one updraft. That's it.
Plenty of time to go for that plant, but not everyone knows where he is. A nice little flash upwards. Aluwu undeterred. Takes her time, runs back toward, but now with one area covered, she does not have a lot of room to reposition. And Neons will take the round, and I have to say, they did lose quite a fair number of rifles.
Still a nice try by Aluwu though. And also, yes, you're right. 3 players gone means that the next round is going to be a little bit tougher for Neons to come back from, but still a good win nonetheless. I mean, they actually read the situation so well. And again, once more, it's Felchai who seizes the initiative. She heard them and she knew that they were coming out from market, so she pushed up to the same spot and took those close range duels with her Phantom. And that really turned things around for a second. MLT, you know, they were starting to lose numbers because of that. And ultimately, that's why they lost a round. But yeah, it's the buys this time. It's not so great. 2 Guardians. Still could be effective, though.
Felchai.
Scanning ahead.
For timing. Scan catches out everyone. Unfortunately, the wall bangs does not translate to a kill, but enough to put in that damage. Aluwu already on the site, immediately passes down and finds Felchai. Oh, she lays still alive, but her teammate is there to go for the Hunter's Fury pick. Kit Kat for 2. In fact, even a pick with the Nanoswarm.
Still though, Yoki watching that from defender spawn, Tash, and that's such a great position to hold. The 2 of the MLT players now are just trapped in sight, and they have no choice to fight their way out.
They're taking a lot of damage, 11 HP coming in. This firepower from 2 different areas, but you really gotta give it to them. Yeah, Coyote just moving backwards, and then giving them a little bit of a top down, high, low. Sorry, excuse me. Sort of hold in terms of angles, gives them a lot of space to work with.
There's so much that you need to watch out for. And despite, you know, a pretty good idea in wanting to push out like this, just in the overall gunfights at the end as well, it's not as if Neons had a clear numbers advantage. It was a 3-on-2. But when it came down to it, just a little bit of pressure and an MLT starting to fall apart in terms of the game plan. Pushing in, Aluwu kind of dropped Luna with the Hunter's Fury, finding a couple of frags, but that was all that they could get. So it's a little bit hectic and chaotic. They gotta, I mean, be a little bit more controlled with it. But that is why Ascent is so defender-sided. Neons, this is why they had that 100% win rate on attack, because their defensive side is that strong.
Coyote playing here. Does get tapped, not quite land his shots, but does not get to move out of the way despite the dash. Luna doing very good. Aluwu, free entry onto the site. Yamroll playing into it mid-site, making sure no one is just lurking in this area. That comes out here, and Yamroll just gonna be spamming the door just to break it.
Okay, we definitely need a secondary point of entry. The rest of them moving up towards heaven, though. But if you look at the mini-map, Tash, K is here.
Ooh, very nice angle. She has surprise! Aphrodite comes for the prize! Not enough, though, as Yamroll takes her out. But Luna on the bottom side, nice tap with Stampfire. This is teamwork. Nice one-way as well, as Felchai tries to just clear out the area with the Hunter's Fury, gets the tag, and 1, 2, 3. Can't do more than that.
Not too much else. MLT coming back into it. Just sending K on a bit of a flank really turned things around because it bought a little bit more extra time. and also with the way that they just, you know, took control over the site. With those post-plant positions, hiding from hell, Luna taking some heads-up duels with those taps. Once more, Neon's, you know, it's still not the best guns that they wanted, and now because of that loss, they're gonna have to go in for another bit of an extra half buy now. This time, really much so a half buy with the sheriffs and the judges coming out.
Interesting. They do have the judge. Wondering what Yamroll has in mind with that particular buy. I'm guessing maybe a smoke sort of play. If anyone were to push through, she was gonna looking to punish it. That's exactly it. She's playing so very close, gonna throw out the paranoia. No answer quite yet. Even then, on the site, didn't quite get the information that they needed. Elu already rushing onto the site. Yoki playing so very close, does not get the shots, but Yamroll is here with the judge. Whew, not sneaky enough. As the plant comes through, immediately you see Luna pretty much primed and ready. Finds one, has to reload, swaps out, but Aphrodite is there to help her sis out. I nearly said bro.
You could call your, you know, other friends bros.
Yeah.
But main thing is the fact that MLT now has a really decisive A site hit. Back a couple rounds, B was a little bit more hectic and chaotic. Always, you know, people dashing towards the door button and lane and stairs, and a lot of teams have figured out how to counter that. Now though, on A site, which is relatively smaller, MLT with their decisiveness, Elu isolating single angles and going out towards a single part of the site, they've managed to break their way through, set up those post plants, and Neons is having a tough time. Suddenly we're going back towards B though, and Neons is putting up a bit of a fight.
Yeah, she moved in with the shock dart. Honestly, it did catch them off guard, but only good for one. But it put a lot of damage onto Aphrodite and Elu. They do have the lockdown, they do have the blades, if they do want to play aggressive, but I guess that they're sort of suspecting that B side is the strong side, and this side, perhaps we shouldn't be aggressing here.
Yeah, just reconsidering. Still gonna check with an Aerodrone, Neons. And they're just calling it clear. The MLT hit away from that. Now they'll re-aggress in towards B.
Oh, I think they may have got the bait. They caught the bait, and immediately Luo finds Valkyrie in the middle of the rotation. Nice little lockdown just to really set the pace here. Gives them a lot of space, and Neons have no choice but to respect this ultimate.
So that's gonna be Spike Plant.
Spike
Yoki
planted.
and Nalkaman though, 3-on-4 retake not impossible considering the fact that Elu and Aphrodite are pretty low.
Coyote walking up. Does she know there's one playing on main? I think they may have an idea, but Yoki spots two, offers Luna with the spray for 3! Oh, just like that. They take it out of the way, and now it is match point for MLT.
Such an incredible post-plant setup, Tash, on B. Because of that lockdown, they got the spike plant and they left Luna behind on B main. That's the play. That's when they peek out of the smoke. They tossed in that fragment thinking that it would be safe enough for them to cross through. But guess what? It wasn't. And unfortunately, they're gonna have to pay the price now, staring at match point. This could be the thing that pushes MLT over the edge to qualify for Game Changers APAC Elite.
The legends coming back on stage. It's what a lot of the enthusiasts here, Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, have been waiting for. But Neons want to stop that dream. Cloudburst, has some of that time. Fragment as well already used. Alu sustaining a little bit of damage. But no movement quite yet. But more people onto A.
Jump peeked and got that info. But not much else left in the tank. Not a lot of utility to work off of. It's going to come down to heroics right now, and MLT trying to make sure that they go in with a flawless execution.
Here comes the sprays. Yoki coming forward. Yoki just making a lot of value with the knives. Coyote showing us how to play with those blades. And this does stop the rampage. But Neon's looking to be the man advantage. Can Aphrodite bring back the title of Clutch Aphrodite? This is the moment she wants to shine on this match point. But it's definitely a very tall mountain to climb. Quietly, she's trying to make her way up to heaven. As soon as she breaks that glass, everyone will know exactly where she is. Not good for one at all. Felchai instantly reacts.
Just well played. Strong defense from NEONS. And like I said, right, it came down to heroics and gunplay, and they made it happen. Slightly good reads and just adaptations as to how MLT executes onto A. They knew where the tailwind was coming from. They knew where Aluwu would path towards. And that's how Coyote lands that perfect Blade Storm on towards Aluwu's head. Following that, some slight whiffs coming out from some of the MLT players allows for players like Yoki to land a couple more shots. And when it came down to it, Kay always on that lurk, always on that flank. They knew where she would appear from, hence Felchai watching that final angle. 12-8, Tash. We've seen this in the past few days. You know, MLT, they do great, but then they kind of get stuck at this point for a while. So, of course, they're calling the timeout. They want to ensure that they will be able to turn things around. They are sitting on 3 ultimates, Tash.
They need to make this count. This is a very good timeout. I have to say that MLT's timeouts have been very, very, I would say, impactful. Don't know whether it's for strats, don't know whether it's to really think it out, or don't know whether it's just really to collect their thoughts. But these two teams, even though it's just the upper bracket, it feels just like a grand finals as these two duke it out. Again, it should feel that way because the winner of this round goes straight to Elite.
Yeah, and if NEONS doesn't, you know, find 4 more rounds to push us into overtime, that's it. You know, they're gonna have to play for the other match, and never quite sure how that's gonna go. MLT, they're not backing down. They have a clear game plan in mind, and they're going straight in for the B-split push, making it like a banana. The split doesn't quite happen the way they want to make it, so Sapphire drops, and Elu is thinking, checking to make sure that it's clear, picks up her fallen teammate back to 100 HP, but NEONS are on their heels as well. Flash sent out, and Coyote's looking for an angle. Spots out Luna, that's the spike dropped. And Alu is all on her shoulders, 23 HP, and she's just watching the angle. Suddenly swings out though, and I think they've hurt her. And they are just stacked up on top of each other. Tough targets to crack, and it's going to be NEONS keeping themselves alive for another round.
Let's win and get out of here.
Clawing their way to the top. NEONS slowly taking it back. MLT, despite the timeout, did not get the value, but they do still have 2 more ultimates. Now, 2 of the players do not have those heavy shields, so it's going to be a little bit of a deficit buy, but it looks like Aluwu is opting just straight up run the blades to buy Sapphire a gun. Actually, they're all buying a gun.
Okay. Nothing too crazy. But, again, it just comes down to NEONS' defense, and so far so good, and they've started to crack how MLT executes onto sites now. MLT are going to try for a different approach, and that's just to go through short instead. A bit of a delayed response coming out from Envious, and that just keeps NEONS staggered.
Yoki!
Though, landing the shot, but then ultimately traded by Aluwu. 2-on-3 retake, Tash.
Best situation, but Luna is very low. KitKat coming in from heaven. Slowly, just gonna go for that plant. Aluwu has the blades. She is very much healthy and happy, but KitKat will be running that ultimate over on the top side. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated just to play up here, but that recon spots out KitKat, takes her out. No respect given to the ultimate. They're okay to play aggressively. Aluwu finds the gun, just sprays a 4K in the bag, and also 4 points in the pocket. Sorry, 3 points, 3-1 in the pocket for MLT, and they are going to be the first team to make it to Elite.
Just such an incredible play. Slight adaptations, everyone always trying to catch up to each other. And you can see that NEONS definitely put in that effort. They are still a strong team. But down to it, they were not expecting that A-short push coming out. Alu getting the first hit as well. And then down to the final moment, Luna getting the wallbang from right underneath Hell. That is a wonder wallbanging moment right there. Also, Aluwu mid-air headshot. It's just icing on the cake, Tash. That's a way to close things out.
Lou just showing us what a sharpshooter she is on the Jet. Also breaking the 100% streak on Ascent for Neons. But for now, who better to break it down for us than our wonderful singers of Wonderwall? Here's Raph and Mika.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I kind of expected it. I was looking into the faces of Tash and Quack, and I was like, oh, they're gonna do something up to no good.
It's like, and after all, well, I don't want to keep this going, but again, MLT, Mika, they are all the way to elite. That is the first out of, well, again, 2 slots, and what an interesting series too. It really did look like Neons was about to make that comeback and just kind of once again claim their stake at the top and represent all of us on the global stage.
Exactly.
But I really love the confidence of MLT. Despite everything that's happened, they realized, wait a minute, this isn't how we usually play. We gotta, again, we talked about this on the very first day. The best thing about MLT is that they can simplify the game, and they do it very, very well.
That timeout was so crucial, right? They had the timeout. They didn't get the round after, but at least it was, it was there to have them like recollect their thoughts, regroup, and keep their calm, especially as Neons was, drawing closer and closer to making it into a tie. And I feel like, Neons, this could have very potentially have gone their way. There were so many rounds that went so well for them, and they were gaining some kind of momentum as well, approaching really, really close to something that could snowball into a win on Ascent for them, right? But MLT looks like they just kept calm and just decided, just one round at a time, and that's what I like from them. They really did keep their composure, and a large portion of that, we have to give it to Aphrodite. I mean, she is that anchor for the whole team, but players like Luna as well, especially in those last few rounds, that recon that was so crucial for that final round as well. I mean, she's such an important player, and her ability to just get the most out of her utility as well as get the most out of every single round is so important to the team.
Again, just more Oasis references, I guess. If Aphrodite was the Wonderwall, we have our very own Luna Supernova that basically caught.
You were waiting for that. You held that in for the whole map.
Yes. And they could not hold that landslide, Mika. They really could not hold that landslide, as they were looking for the snowball, but MLT, they were just a little too sturdy and too confident, too sharp today. Just a lethal combination, really. Now, I feel like, we've seen so much of MLT really shining, but I hope everybody gives their flowers to Neons as well. They've had such a great run up until this point, and they really went down swinging. Everything they did, it really inspired quite a bit of confidence, no matter how big the round deficit was. But just again, to put the spotlight back to our ladies on MLT eSports, Luna, you said it was an absolute complete player today. Was it utility that was really the shining point? Was it her gunfighting? Was it her just ability to reel back the team and be that center point for MLT? The answer is yes. All of those things are absolutely true.
It was so well played from Neons, though. Like I said, this could have easily have been their map as well. And I feel like, they were so ready to actually, go the distance. It is not over for them yet, though. Of course, they will drop into our lower final, so they do have another chance to be able to seal it out and potentially make it to Elite. Congratulations, though, to MLT Esports, our first to make it out of the LCQ grind and secure their slots all the way over to Elite. It's not over for them yet, though. They still have to make sure that whoever is taking that second slot with them is worthy for being of that second slot, right? So I feel like, MLT Esports, they have a long way to go. This isn't even their final form yet. This is a roster that is, as we mentioned, weeks old, right? And I'm still so dumbfounded by that fact, because from what we saw today, this did not look like a roster that was just weeks old, right? The ability for them to be able to pull in all of that teamwork at the very last second is still something that I really, really admire. It's so inspiring.
Excellent point. And you talked about LCQ being truly the trenches. It is such a grueling test of endurance and just grit. And we saw so much of that. We're going to see more of that too. And the way that you mentioned how MLT, they operated in such a refined manner today. They were never too far for a rotation. They were never too far away from a trade. And just, again, a solid foundation that we were really waiting for to come out, because, again, at day one and everything that we've seen from them so far was super, super hot or just kind of not there in the server. But today was just the absolute evolution, the completeness. That is MLT.
We can actually find out for ourselves just how much this roster has evolved, because we do have Kphrodite on the line for a very quick interview. So let's pull her up to your screens right now for a really, really quick interview. Kphrodite, are you there? Can you hear us? Hopefully you can.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi Kphrodite. Hello. Congratulations to you guys, to MLT
you.
eSports for qualifying to Elite. Can you talk us through those last moments during that series? What was the immediate reaction during that last round, knowing that you guys just qualified for Elite?
I think to begin with, we expected it because the moment when we formed our team, we only had one goal, which is to qualify for Elite. So in the beginning, during the group stage, we fumbled a lot because we were very new. We never played with any girls team before, and then we lost a lot of post-plan due to our communication and our chemistry. But within a week, we managed to fix almost all the mistakes that we made prior to that, and this is we are just elated. And somebody in my team also commented she can sleep with a teeth out when she go to bed tonight.
I think like all of you guys can sleep well tonight, right? That is amazing to know that within just 1 week, you guys were able to pull it together. Raph, you have a question for Kphrodite?
I mean, before I ask anything, I really like that thought process. Oh yeah, we were expecting to win everything. Nobody here can hold a candle to it. But anyway, like, jokes aside, that's crazy, right? Like, one day you just decide to be the super team of LCQ and you fix all your mistakes within 1 week. It really just sounds like a dream. But my question for you guys is, which team are you excited to play against when you get into Elite?
I think we never thought of this question because, like I said, our angle is this competition. But in terms of excitement, I think SMG. Definitely, we are aiming to try to play the best, even though the chances are very, very slight. But we're still aiming to do our best to the end.
I mean, don't say that now. You just won a slot in Elite. You can't say that now. You gotta keep it going. SMG, we're coming for you, and we're coming in this one hot. And again, I just really like the confidence. And you hear that, Mika, despite expecting so much, they're just so focused on LCQ, which is already such a great quality.
Kphrodite, I have to agree with Raph. You have to come into Elite saying, okay, we're the top dog here. We're gonna win Elite. But now I do have to ask you guys. I'm so interested in that you mentioned that within 1 week you guys were able to pull together. Can you let us know? Were there any preparations for this series? Because you guys look, I think, completely different from within like the previous 2 days. Was there anything that you guys changed?
Previous 2 days, I think what changes the most is we build up our confidence. In the beginning, we were quite scared of all the fights, but subsequently we managed to not fumble, and like players like Luna, you can see she just W in all the way as a Sova. So that's what we changed, our mindset, our mentality, and also together with the goal to win.
That is awesome. Kphrodite, congratulations to you and the rest of MLT eSports. You guys can all sleep very, very well tonight indeed, and you guys deserve it. I'm sure you guys are exhausted, so we're gonna let you go. Congratulations once again for making it to Elite.
Thank you so much.
So cute. Thank you. I love that mentality, right? She just mentioned that the only thing that changed for them was the confidence, and it means so, so much. You saw them on those first 2 maps, right? You saw that waver just a little bit on Lotus, and you saw it almost give way in a sense, but they were able to pull it through, Raph.
Well, again, it's the focus, it's the confidence, that's the making of a great competitor, a great team, and just to see them power through everything and just to go over every single hurdle that they had. And, just a quick review of what they had to go through. None of these teams were an easy task, and they've definitely helped each other get better at the end of the day.
That's right. And now, of course, as we wait for the final verdict, so to say, I do believe we do have a series indeed for the lower final, right? It's going to be very exciting to see who's going to make it alongside MLT eSports for that second slot into Elite. And I think that, Raph, this whole journey so far for all of these teams has been really, really enlightening. You never saw the same team that, played on the first day emerge out of the end of their journey.
It really is such a treat for everybody, right? But that really is the question. Who has the medal to, again, just kind of get that extra slot here and compete alongside MLT and potentially against MLT in the future? As we look at the schedule, I'm sorry, because I got a little distracted when I saw the Nyx Kyosei logo again.
I don't
We're all
blame you.
here for Fifi,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Of course not. We just saw, we were in theme, by the way, earlier with the Assistance of Moji, right? But we are
Yes.
going to see the Hero KDA up against Nyx Kyosei, followed by, who knows, the winner of that up against
Mystery.
a mystery.
Who
A
is-
total mystery indeed.
Who is this TBD team? Why are they in every single tournament I see,
Who
Who
knows?
are these people?
Who knows, right? I think that, it's going to be so exciting for all of these teams, especially the energy tomorrow is going to be completely different, right? So we hope that you guys will stay tuned for that as we conclude our journey with LCQ tomorrow and find out which two teams will be making it over to Elite. We already have MLT Esports, who is going to be by their side to represent the winners of LCQ, right? Over on to Elite. So Raph, any final words for tonight's games?
I mean, as always, it's been wonderful, watching and, again, listening to all our friends cast and kill the games and watching all the competitors just rise up. I am just a huge fan of every single player getting better and just really, really, again, just supercharge themselves into, maybe the higher echelons. And, of course, it's been a wonderful time working with the Mika Fabs, the strongest data the Philippines has ever produced.
Where is this coming from? I have no idea. I have no idea where this is coming from, but thank you, Raph. It has been an honor as well. We will see you guys tomorrow for the rest of LCQ and the conclusion of this leg of VCT Game Changers APAC. See you guys.